live right now. Oh, there we go. What's going on, everybody? Oh, and Evandro just left as soon as the show started. A great way to kick it off.
See at the altar there.
Yeah. Now I'm all distracted. I'm all messed up. But anyway, welcome to the first edition or first episode or episode 0 of the Square Table, something that we've been kind of talking about for a while now. Oh, there he is. He's back. He's back.
Welcome back.
I had to pour a first glass.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a little more than I expected it to be.
So, premise of the show, basically, there are 4 sides to a square. So there's 4 of us. It was a playoff. What was our original title? Nerds of the Round Square Table. Mm-hmm. But there's just too many words. Too many
Kelly
words.
cleaned that up for us.
Yeah,
right?
Kelly was like, "Why just about
Kelly.
the square table?" I was like, "That's brilliant."
She has her moments.
So yeah, I am joined tonight by my good friend Evandro, my Destiny partner and actual friend in real life, not like these 2 nerds on the bottom. Not yet, anyway. We have not met. And then we have the meme master, the one and only Titanosaurus superfan, Nick Sides below me, and then the infamous librarian.
Not the director.
Not the director, not the famous Kevin Smith, but this Kevin Smith.
That other one, yeah.
The soon-to-be famous.
that
Yeah,
other
sure,
guy.
Whatever.
The other guy.
Happy to be here.
David says, kind of rectangular, but okay. All right, I'll take that. It's a fair criticism.
Actually,
All rectangles
all
are squares,
rectangles
right?
are squares.
Hey,
Yeah.
Oh, see, and this
Take
is
that, David.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hit that with the math.
Like I said, nerds of the square table. All right, so let's kick this off with some latest toy reveals, and we'll go get your takes. And yeah, we're just gonna kind of wing this. It's the first episode. We're not really sure what we're doing. We're just kind of doing some stuff.
We're just drinking and hanging out.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the roll.
Lay it
all
on us. What do we got?
right. I don't know. I can't do this. Let's see.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
All right, yeah, it's a good show. All right, so up first, it's gonna be small. I don't want it to be. So the Super7 just announced finally their reaction series, and this kind of caused a stir. And actually, some people called me out, like I don't know my Godzilla history. So let me see if I can blow this up here. Just put it on the full screen. So Godzilla 57 is the one that they had teased, as well as 54, Mechagodzilla, Jet Jaguar, Mothra, and Rodan. Now,
let's cut to the chase.
Yeah, like when I had posted up like, oh, this might. Oh, whoa, what's going on? Oh god. Oh, I hate this. I hate this so much.
Why?
It's a live show, folks. It's a live show.
What?
Anything
We're
can
episode
happen.
0. We're not episode 1 yet. This doesn't count. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you
No.
go. That's right.
there we go.
This is the pilot. This is
Yeah.
the test pilot.
Yeah.
Steve Z, what's up? So Godzilla 57. My initial reaction wasn't because I had said, oh, this might be a typo, and people were like, oh, it's not a typo. You don't know your Godzilla shit. No, my issue was it looks way too much like 62. And not like, oh, that looks like the volcano monster suit that was never used because.
Do we know what happened in that suit?
Probably disintegrated.
I was gonna,
Just thrown in a playground somewhere.
Yes.
Someone took off with it.
So for those that don't know, basically they were going to send Godzilla and Anguirus suit to the U.S. for the U.S. to just make their own movie, as opposed to kind of going the Raymond Burr route that they did with the first one. And what happened to the suit? I don't know. My guess is the boat never made it, and it's just lost somewhere in the Pacific.
It's in something in San Francisco.
James Cameron's gonna find it.
Yeah.
Guys, I have this great idea for a movie.
Found it on the bottom of a trench.
So do any of you guys collect the reaction stuff? Those are like it's kind of like their old school, like 3.5-inch figures.
Yeah, very
They did like Alien line, didn't they?
Oh, they
Like,
do
Terminator
everything.
and
Oh man, yeah. Their reaction line is almost virtually everything.
They're pretty cool. Yeah, I've always
Yeah,
looked
I
at
mean,
them.
yeah, they're super fun. They don't take up a lot of space, and they have that like severe nostalgia factor to them. So I'll most likely be collecting all of these.
Yeah. Now, have they done any non-humanoid stuff though? Like most of it's been like humanoid-esque, right?
in
I
like a
haven't kept
blister
up-
pack, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, they have. Like they
Okay.
just did the they did the Shogun Godzilla.
Oh,
and
okay.
Right.
They have been
And that
doing
came in a
like
box, right?
it actually came in 3 different ways. There was the blister pack, and then there was like the retro. There was a retro box one that had like the exact box art from the original
Of the
Shogun,
Okay,
which is
cool.
that's why Super 7's awesome. Like even though I don't really collect a lot of their stuff, I love it for what it is because it's
They rule with respect.
yeah, they're toy people, man. They're
Oh,
just
no.
toy people. They rule. Yeah, don't get into this Boba shit yet, okay?
Sorry.
So I'll probably be collecting all 6. You guys see this Mothra? One of the designs on the Mothra here. She's got like spikes on her back. Kind of see that?
Those
Right?
extra
A little
antenna,
bit.
or
Yeah,
maybe those are Shobijin. You think those could be Shobijin?
I
There's
don't know.
2 of them. I don't
But
know. I
still-
can't see.
Interesting.
Still a
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That's odd.
Do we know
Pretty-
specifically what Mothra this is?
If I had a guess, since it's them, it's got to be Showa, like 64,
Yeah.
61.
Right.
But anyway, that's not the one that I'm pumped. Like this line's cool. I'll collect them all because I'll just put them on like on a pegboard or something like that. But this is what I'm pumped about. Let's see if I can even get this going correctly. All right. So if you're not familiar with their Cyborg, Super Cyborg line, this is what's up, man. So it's probably going to be, probably going to come in a couple different versions. They've done a lot of crystal clears. Like I have their Megazord, and they're about like 10 inches tall. So this is going to be,
Oh, okay, they're chunky. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a big boy.
yeah, this is going to be like,
I'm not aware of this line. This looks great.
yeah, they've done a bunch of stuff in the Super Cyborg line. In fact, do I have my guy behind me? Let me see let me actually get this on the screen. Hold on.
I love that promo art too. That's really fun.
Yeah.
The schematic.
Oh yeah, it's gonna this figure is gonna slap. This is gonna be the one that everyone wants. But let me get my Megazord real quick. Where are you?
Yeah, I wonder if when they were in the blister pack, I wonder if they had to pop the tails off in order to get them in there. If it was just a long
So, like,
blister pack.
Oh, there we go.
You can see how big this is. This isn't some small
big.
reaction figure. And like this
Sizable.
was all, super badass. It's got this was crystal clear with the Power Rangers inside.
That's
like,
tight.
hell
That's
yeah.
cool. I like that. Yeah.
Also, still have some available at KaijuLive.shop. Plug myself. Why not?
Wrong show.
Yeah.
Please like and subscribe.
Yeah, please like and subscribe. But what's also really cool is Brian had done an interview with, I forget who it was. I want to say Toy Bro. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. And because, everyone wants to know about the Ultimates with Super 7. That's like their more traditional, like 8-inch line, like articulated and all that stuff.
Closer to like NECA or something like that.
Kind of, yeah. It's like, I would say it's a better quality, more like Mezco. Because like NECA is great, but, half the time,
they're made to be smashed into each
the
other.
legs might.
As someone who had just bought their first NECA, I bought the Goliath. I don't know if you can see him. He's like right over here.
You also bought a Ninja Turtle that you haven't paid for in full yet.
You know where I live.
I do.
Like, you want my finger? I'll cut it right now.
Just like a NECA. Falls right off.
I was excited to get this Goliath, but like the quality behind, because I bought the Voltron, I forget what he's called, but obviously they're worlds apart. But having a first collector of like die cast and metal pieces and super high quality, and then getting the NECA Goliath and seeing I'm like, I used to pay $10 for this at like KB Toys. Like I feel like it's a similar he articulates everywhere and he's
those
cool
days are
looking,
over,
but-
my friend.
Yeah.
$10 toys are.
Mm.
I don't even know. Like, what are $10 toys now? What is even a line that even does that?
I don't even. The last thing
Mermaids?
I remember buying as a kid, and it was like $10, were Gundams, the Bandai Gundams that were like 4 inches. They were like this big, and they were $10 each. And even then, that was expensive for me.
Yeah,
And,
that's and now look at you now. Where's
now-
where's your Optimus Prime?
He's right here in the box. He's right here in the box.
All right, so and so their Ultimates are coming out, but they've said they've had a lot of issues with them because they're gonna obviously be the biggest Ultimates they've ever made, and usually they like to do like waves of 4, but they feel like because they're gonna be more expensive, they haven't really figured out what they want to do, so they'll probably be in waves of 2 instead. So we'll see. So I'm pretty excited about what Super 7 has coming down the pipeline. And now let's talk about what some people experienced last night. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what happened with the Godzilla store live stream last night.
Uh-oh.
Forgot.
I saw Cody.
So our buddies over at Monsters with Attitude, it was Eric Sampson and Cody basically did like a live stream to stream with a watch along with the G store because they were hyping up, it's Gigan's 50th, and they didn't do anything. In fact, this is what we got. They did like a full, I think it was like a 2, maybe 3 hour live stream or something like that, and it was more Hedorah and Godzilla and stuff that we've already seen, and here it is. So
That's it.
the newest thing that they announced was that plush. Because the Mara-san is this is like now a purple variant, a purple glitter, which is still cool, but yo, man.
Oh, man. They did them dirty.
Yeah,
Wow.
The Hedorah one was great. They had that
Yeah.
live action thing that they filmed and everything. That was the first tokusatsu stuff I'd seen in so long, especially with the Toho license. That was awesome. I was all hyped for that.
Yeah, it's very strange. Like, I don't know if they just kind of jumped the gun because I don't know. Wasn't the 50th anniversary Hedorah stuff like later in the year? Like kind of like a Q3.
Kind of snowballed into just everything Hedorah over and over. Yeah.
Yeah, because so I think a lot of us are expecting like an SH Monster Art show or Gigan or the gigantic X Plus. It's like, come on. And then we got a little plushie, guys. We got a plushie.
And 2 reissues, right? They reissued like a
X Plus
Hedorah and a Godzilla or something.
Oh yeah, we're getting a reissue from X Plus, but it's the same sculpt. Nothing new.
Star
that
Wars,
was
what's up?
Eric Stolp's show, right?
Oh yeah, it
Monsters
was
with
the
Attitude.
Monsters with Attitude. Yeah,
It was like Sam Weston and like Cody. I think
Yep,
were on it.
and those poor boys, they trooped it out, but
3
not
hours.
much. Yeah.
That's a lot of whiskey. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, so let's jump over to some NECA stuff here. Big Predator fan.
Dude, me too. I used to like the
Ooh,
Predator line.
that
like
is-
crazy.
I'm
I
gonna
really did.
I'm gonna go to a different screen here so you can really see it.
I sold like 3 months ago or something. That
man.
mask is so sick. I
Yeah,
love
so
that.
this we're gonna be talking about Boba Fett in just a bit, but like this reminds me of if the Tusken Raider chick that was super badass became a Predator.
What
I
happened
love
to
the
her,
wrist
man?
blades at the end of the staff too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no,
just-
I think
staff
I'll
is
put them
really
here
awesome.
this time. You know, like
Because that staff came with the original Shaman Predator, and it
Did
was
it?
like one of the things. Yeah, it's one of the things that distinguished him. That, and he had longer dreads. He had no mask. He had no like armor on his chest or anything. It was just him and that staff. And
I love it.
yeah, it's awesome. I had that figure and recently sold it, and now I'm having a little bit of regret. And that trophy wall behind him, I had that too. I love that
Oh,
thing.
you got rid of that?
I did.
How?
I just recently
How'd
got
you
rid
do
of it.
that?
Is
I
that
don't
the
know.
original of this, and this is just a reissue in a different pose, or
This is like, it looks like they sculpted a lot of new parts. Like the mask is new. That cloth thing he has over him is new.
Oh, there it is.
Oh no! Oh god!
no.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, no. Stop! You're ruining it.
Dude, every time I switch scenes for whatever reason, it just auto sets to play and doesn't stick with my settings.
Yeah,
I have to
it
be
just
doing
goes
something
off.
wrong. I do this every time I have a live chat with anybody. I always have this slideshow set up, and it's just like, fuck you. Just
Yeah,
we're gonna
shut
just-
up, Nick. We're going to the next
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
But I usually only collect like the 1/4 scale NECAs. So if they make this into the 1/4 scale, I'm probably gonna have to because
I mean,
the mask is too sick.
that mess
I
is
lo-
awesome.
I love the
mean, it
original
comes
Predator
off,
stuff
right?
too.
I
Yeah,
love all
it's-
that Predator stuff.
It should pop off. But like
Sweet.
NECA specifically with the Predator line, they've been giving it a lot of love because they even had like original sculpts, like original characters that they would release into that line, and I love
Yeah.
that. That was so cool because now you're adding to the lore. You're not just replicating
Yeah,
stuff you saw
and
in
they've
the
done
movie. I love it.
they've even done like the video game stuff.
They
from,
did
like,
the
Yeah,
comics,
yeah,
the
uh-huh.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Predator line has gotten so much love. Like I really love that line. There was a drop in quality, like I don't know, 5-6 years ago or something. You could tell when they kind of switched factories, kind of like SH Monster Arts. Like
Yeah,
they started
well-
producing other places, but still.
Well, because
like,
everyone because when you originally come out and you have that price point, right?
mhm.
$20.
Unfortunately, you know,
Hmm.
inflation's gonna happen. So it's like, what do? Do you try to stay close to your price point, or do you just magically in 2 years be like, well, now they're $50?
Mhm.
Is that
Yeah.
is that
Yeah.
what draws NECA specifically? Other than they do really cool sculpts, but like their price points are actually pretty accessible.
They're
Yeah,
really
it's-
affordable
yeah,
considering
$30.
everything else
It's
out
it's
there.
a gateway collectible, you know,
Yeah.
into like
You're getting
bigger
a killer
stuff.
sculpt every
I
time,
mean-
just about. So,
Yeah.
That's the
Mhm.
truth.
Yeah.
And you
The
get
paint apps, but
yeah, the paint
sculpts
apps are hit or
solid.
miss. But what's great is like their window box art is also fantastic. So a lot of
Oh, yeah.
collectors don't even take them out of the box; they display everything in the boxes because
Mhm.
they're
Yeah.
incredible.
I can see
Yeah.
that. I can
My
see
buddy Robert Moreno had a bunch of them just displayed in the box, and they look awesome like that. They really do. I just love the love that they've been giving to the Predator line specifically. Like they went like deep with deep cuts. And if they had kept the Godzilla line, like who knows? You know, they might have
Well,
done
I
something
got
similar.
a
Yeah.
hot take on that. I
Uh-oh.
legit
First one of the night.
Yeah, I legit think that because Bandai rules all. They kind of get. I think they have a little bit of say of what is and isn't allowed, and I think the NECA stuff was getting too close to SH Monster Art stuff, and the price
Maybe.
point was like, especially like if you look at their G19 line. What's the difference between the NECA G19 versus the SH Monster Arts other than $60?
And the sculpt on the NECA was way better.
Yeah,
that's the
like-
model.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we'll just take the model. We don't need a sculptor.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
so-
they
Write
used
it up.
the actual model, the film asset for it, which was really cool. Yeah, I don't know, because like, okay, with the Predator line, they went back and they redid the old, like, was it Kenner that made those Predator
Yeah.
toys
Yes,
back in
yes.
the day?
The
Yeah.
old baby
So I
stuff,
love
yeah.
that they paid like homage to that and then like revamped him. My dream thing would have NECA been doing the same thing to Godzilla, but revamping Trendmasters releases. So we get like Godzilla and battle
dude.
armor and shit
Jack
like that.
Pacific
Like,
still owns all the rights to that stuff.
yeah, like dude,
So,
re-release the
reach out,
Godzilla
please.
and the battle armor and stuff
Oh
like
my-
that. Like the
Yeah.
goofy, fun
Bro,
stuff like that.
just do the Doom Island. Yes,
Yeah,
just
dude,
do Doom
yeah.
Island.
Great.
Oh my god.
See,
Avandro's
I feel
laughing
like
at
that
us. I
would've
can see it.
tracked.
He's like these.
I'm enjoying this. This is great.
All right, let's talk.
You're
Let's talk
nerd.
something more universal here. My favorite sci-fi movie of all time.
Hell yeah.
The fact that they are doing this,
Yeah, that's
because
fine.
like when they originally released,
It's
Can
for
you blow that up?
kids.
They
Can
had
you blow that up?
McCready first.
you
Yeah.
know, yeah, the
Blow it up, blow
the
it up.
picture actually kind of sucks, but I'll do my best.
Okay.
It's kind of blurry. So
Yes.
there it
Good.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got this.
That's
so
so
I'm
cool.
assuming it's gonna come in like a 2-pack of, or maybe even a
Yeah.
3-pack of the full transformation, because you have
Oh
this.
my god,
I
imagine.
want
then
like
you
a
have
dissected
this.
dog too. Like give
Well,
me a
I mean-
husky that's covered in goo.
Yeah.
That I can
So,
stick next to it.
I
too.
gotta get this. I know it says pending
You can goo your own
licensor
husky.
I can goo
approval.
I'm gonna
but-
hot glue them all over. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what they call it now?
Oh my
Yeah.
god, that
Hot
looks
glue
so
it.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
dude,
Now anyone who hasn't
Why is that
seen
in
it
the
in the chat, if you haven't seen the thing, go watch it right after
Yeah,
this.
the
please.
thing
it's
is-
gonna change your life.
The
Like it did
thing-
to me.
It's amazing.
It's
John
life
Carpenter's
changing.
best.
Yeah.
it's his
Watch-
best.
On Carpenter version, please.
Oh god, yeah, not
The original one's
I
not
love the
bad,
original,
but
too,
it's
but
it's not
you
this.
want
Yeah,
Best effects
John
you'll
Carpenter.
ever see in
the
your
best
life.
practical effects, and I
Don't
don't.
watch. What year did the newer one come out? With
It's like
2011.
2016,
was the-
2011. Damn, that was a
2011.
long time ago.
2011. Oh
Yeah.
my
And Stan Winston had made practical effects for
Yeah,
that,
and then
just
they
threw 'em out.
glossed over them. They ruined it. The
was
studio
They
was
didn't
like,
use them at
no,
all.
terrible.
want 'em.
I remember
Yeah.
when he and I were hyped for that movie, and he's like, "Dude, we're not watching this."
I saw it in the theater, and I was just like, "Why does this look like shit?"
Yeah.
And then you find the YouTube video of literally the
Yep.
studio with all the practical effects that are mind blowing,
Awesome. Yeah.
mind blowing, and you're like, hold on. So you're telling me some studio exec said that looks like shit, so CGI overlay it to make it worse? I just it's always like, oh, they always blame it on the test audience. Well, the test audience didn't
like-
think it looked good.
Look at it
Who
this
did
way.
you test?
way.
Uh-oh.
Look at it this
Nick's
way.
gone.
Who, in what situation that comes to forefront of your mind does practical effects ever do worse than CGI effects?
Very rarely.
Teenage
Never-
Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
That doesn't count, okay? That doesn't count.
You asked.
Oh, that's Frit from Rise of Skywalker.
That's a genuine answer. Yeah.
Okay, Jim Henson had nothing to do with TMNT.
Well, yeah, that's yeah. So like, there are people that are masters of the craft.
are.
Like
a lot
you
of
know,
it depends on lighting too. I mean, you got to
I
light
guess
this thing correctly, but like, it's not that hard to mess up.
no.
Like,
Practical
we're-
effects always look better. Like
Yeah.
you know, you go into the Star Wars universe, a practical effects Yoda looks much better than a CGI Yoda.
Except in
every time.
episode 1. I mean,
except the
yeah.
practical
Yeah.
one that they used in
What the
episode
hell
1.
is that?
Yeah, like I know it's just
Sure.
like there is
Sure.
it does there are definitely variables that matter. Like
Yeah.
it's such a shame what happened that we're not getting a season 2 of the Dark Crystal. That was
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a bummer.
that shit was
Yeah,
that was a pinnacle. Like
Yeah.
That show.
That was carrying practical effects
Oh,
into the new age, and it's like, whatever, you know, it's a shame.
Yeah.
But we got Mando, we got Boba, they're doing it. So
Yeah, no, they
Yeah.
are. They're using
Still
a lot of
around.
practical effects.
by the way, we're not
do
going to
need-
really talk about this one much. XM dropped their giant 60 centimeter Ultraman, which will be at the shop probably tomorrow. Haven't got a chance to put it in today, but looks pretty cool. I would have wanted something more dynamic. I don't know. What do you guys think about this pose?
It's all right. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't really make me too excited. It's fine,
Yeah.
I guess. But yeah, I kind of agree with you, AJ. It's not anything that's like jaw dropping.
Yeah.
I'm sure it looks better in person, but
Well,
you know,
yeah. When
Yeah.
anything 60 centimeter in person is gonna be like, oh shit.
Yeah. It's
Like,
like,
oh,
big boy.
I could kill somebody with that. But all right, let's get these things off the screen now, and let's start talking the good stuff. Oh God, what have I done? Where am I?
what have you done, AJ?
I don't know. My screen.
You broke it.
All right, let's see. pull up my little word thing here. I got little bullet points. Oh boy. All right. So we're not Boba Fett's not next. We're gonna just gloss over this real quick because I'm very curious. There's not a lot of details on this, but they just recently announced like the whole Shin Japan Heroes universe or the Shin AnnoVerse. Because you got obviously Shin Godzilla from 16. We got what Shin Ultraman releasing this May allegedly. I don't know.
Yeah.
They keep pushing it back.
Forever.
Yeah.
And then
Kamen Rider.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Kamen Rider is next year. So apparently there's not a lot of details on it, but they have launched the website. So let's go around the table here. Finally, we'll go around the table, right? We got half hour, and we're finally doing that.
27 minutes.
All right, so Evandro, will do you last because I don't think you have any idea. Okay, we'll start with Nick. We'll start with Nick first. So what do you
guys are happy?
Yeah. So what do you think this is, and what do you want it to be? Like if you were in complete control, what would you want this universe to be?
Okay.
Because we're getting merchandise. There's gonna be a ton of crossover merch.
Yeah.
So Nick, you kick it off, man. What do you got?
Okay, so my knee jerk is that it's going to be much like they did the Eva Godzilla crossover. That it's probably just going to be like an art promotional campaign to kind of drum up hype for Ultraman and Kamen Rider and stuff like that. Idealistically, I'd like some kind of like little tiny mini series or animated short or something to kind of actually be like a representation of these things actually meeting. But my knee jerk is it's going to be like it was in when was that Ava Godzilla crossover thing where they had like a couple figures to come.
Yeah, that was like 16, ago, right? 17, yeah.
Yeah, and they had like a 7-Eleven exclusive figure, make a Godzilla with a Ava colorway and stuff. So maybe we get some physical merch, hopefully. That'd be awesome, especially if like we had all those Anno properties in the same scale, the same kind of quality, same kind of, so like they kind of all fit together. That'd be great. But yeah, my knee jerk is that it's probably just going to be like an art multimedia campaign, but very little actual like show stuff. I would like it to be a true crossover. Like my dream thing would be him taking his Ultraman and him eventually facing off with Godzilla or something after like a couple movies. But that's more Marvel, right? That's more.
Well, that's how it's been described. Is like they're trying to create a Marvel-esque universe. So.
I mean, I'm here for it, especially with Anno helming it and how weird he gets. Like, that would be great because it's very adult too. Like, whereas Marvel's more aimed for kind of kids, Anno's not really pulling any punches lately. So I'm curious to see how the Ultraman translates. If it's as like adult as Shin was, or if it's more, I don't know, middle of the road or something. But my knee jerk is it's probably going to be an art campaign or something kind of along that line. But I would love to be pleasantly surprised and see a little bit more like media stuff come out of it outside of just like a couple posters you can buy and maybe like a Bandai figure here and there.
Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much there with Nick. I mean, we've seen it before. I mean, I know they got a Universal Studios over there where they kind of mesh a lot of properties together to begin with. I could see maybe even a ride or some kind of sim. What was that video game that came out? Like that survival horror kind of game. You remember?
I know. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, where they had Ghidorah and Godzilla.
They
I could see maybe some weird, crossovers like that. Like Nick said, 7-Eleven. I could see some Bondi stuff, kind of mixing colorways with everybody, but like, I don't know. We haven't seen it. I like that I don't know though. It's like Toho surprised me with something here. You played it safe for too long, so I'd love to see you get weird with it. Especially with Anno. Anno's weird. Let him do his thing.
Senior Gojira McCoy just said this, and it says, fun fact, the rest of the rejected practical stuff from the Thing 2011 appeared in Harbinging Down? I don't know what that is, but now I have to go watch it.
I'm glad they reused it because there was so much there. They had like fully animatronic parts and all these like heads and stuff. And they had a lot of work going to it.
2015, Harbinger Down. Yeah.
I'm assuming it's a sci-fi movie or some kind of horror movie.
It's probably a romantic comedy from my
You know what it is? Matthew McConaughey is in here and Kate Hudson. Weird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
10 things I hate about the Thing.
Yeah, it looks like some kind of ship that crashes in the like one of the Arctic circles or something like
And then
that.
it transforms, and
So-
no one knows who anyone is.
Evandro, so are you into any like are you into Evangelion? Because
Yeah.
that's part of
Oh,
it.
yeah.
That would be like
I
the
have a
only-
hot take on that.
All right, go ahead, go for it.
Give
This
us
is the time.
I loved Ava for like the first. I loved Ava for the most of it. I hated how they ended it, and it made me feel like I watched the entire series and I wasted my whole. Give me giant robots, and I will love everything about it. Everything. Ask AJ. I
Yeah.
will watch the new Transformers movies all the time. Don't love them, but I do enjoy them. But at the same time, like, I'm a huge Gundam fan. Like, I love that giant mech world. Ava drew me in right from the start, and then at the end, I'm just like, why is this happening? Like,
You don't want to just trip acid
don't wanna
for
trip
like
acid.
an episode?
Bro.
Yeah.
I literally I
That's
watched
it,
the
yeah.
I watched the last set of episodes, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah, very.
Where did this
philosophical,
go?
yeah.
I'm really into
Yeah.
Freud now. Yeah.
Apparently it had like, it's such a beautiful universe too, and everything is like, you're just so drawn in by everything that's happening that you're just like, why did you go this way? I don't
Yeah.
understand. People are like, oh, watch the movies.
No,
Still just
don't.
like,
if you didn't
nope.
like that, don't go there.
I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'm here.
Yeah.
Let me just dive right in. I'm just gonna go right into it, and I was still just like, really?
It'll double down on what you don't like.
It
So,
basically did. It
Yep.
really did. It really did.
they're gorgeous to watch. Like the animation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
Animation
It
is
is.
fantastic.
It is, and
Yeah.
if you're an anime fan, like if you've never watched Ava and you watched like animes throughout the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, like it's weird that you haven't watched Ava.
Yeah.
And you get into it, and I did. I loved the initial part of it. I love seeing giant robots fight other giant robots or giant monsters.
Mhm.
It's the best.
It is the best. Mecha Godzilla in there as well. Like, you watch that shit happen. It's like, I'm like, yes, give it to me. But
How'd you like Pacific Rim?
the first one was great.
Oh yeah,
I love
first one's
the first
great.
one.
There
There-
wasn't.
there is
They
no
never made a
second-
second one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
no.
not a
No.
second one. Yeah,
Well-
I don't know
Doesn't
what you're talking about. They
Doesn't
made a
exist.
second one.
The anime
What
is
do you mean?
really good
Nope.
too, though.
No.
Pacific Rim Black was pretty good.
Pacific
Yeah,
Rim,
that was fun.
Netflix, right?
the
Yeah.
first, yeah,
I
the
haven't seen
first
that,
Pacific Rim
so
was fantastic.
perfect.
Yeah.
The-
Mhm.
Does
I went
exactly
to
what
watch
it needs to.
into
Yeah.
the second one, and I'm like, what is happening right
I
I
have a-
never finished it.
I
I have a
was
hot
in the-
take.
I didn't bother to
The
do it.
third act of Pacific Rim is trash.
Ooh.
It bogs
You
down
feel-
a little
To
bit.
be honest, you feel that way about
Yeah.
most movies, though.
He just gets sleepy towards the end.
No, it's not that. For me, it was like, all right, you've been building up, and there's no way. Tell me everyone wasn't expecting a giant battle royale at the end of that movie. The way it was building up, right?
should've
Like
been.
I was expecting. All
It
right,
should've
we
been.
got 5 mechs still at that time, maybe 4, and we're just gonna go all out. It's gonna be crazy. That's what I was expecting. And then
Yeah,
we
and then
get
they-
in the water, and they're like,
You
we're
get
gonna
Independence
attack
Day
them.
underwater, basically.
Yeah, we're gonna attack
Yeah.
them one by one and
Yeah.
get fucking wrecked.
Yep.
And then go, that plan's not working. I was just like, who wrote that? Like, come on. Like, so I was just expecting this giant battle royale, and like what we got wasn't bad. It was just, I was just shocked that that's how you decided to get rid of the rest of the Jaegers, where it was just like, just send them
Yeah,
out one
no.
by one, no problem.
No, it's valid. It's valid. My hot take on that is that Pacific Rim was the best live action kaiju stuff we've had
Oh yeah.
Until
Since-
GVK.
Still. Wow.
since
Wow,
like
okay.
Until GVK.
We can go toe to
Destroy
toe
it
on
or
that.
something.
Yeah.
I would say that's a different scenario because you have kaiju versus kaiju in GVK. In Pacific Rim,
What the hell's
it's-
Mechagodzilla?
Yeah, Mechagodzilla.
Bro.
Bro, yeah.
Yeah.
Get,
Mechagodzilla,
checkmate.
bro.
Yeah, if they had a Mechagodzilla from that in Pacific Rim, that movie would have been over in 5
I
minutes.
consider that's my whole thing. I consider Mechagodzilla as like he's a kaiju. He's really just just a metal monster is really what he is.
Yeah.
He's not some human sitting inside of a cockpit or
I
something.
kind of wish they did
Well,
that too with
He
GVK.
he is in 2 iterations of Andro.
I mean,
whoa,
He's,
whoa,
he,
whoa,
he
whoa,
does
whoa,
what
whoa.
he needs. He serves whatever plot he
never-
needs
I've
to
never
serve. It's different every
yeah.
time, but yeah,
never
yeah.
associated Mechagodzilla as really like a giant mech. I have always associated him as just a Godzilla. He's just another
Yeah.
iteration.
He's a
of a
Terminator.
Well, especially with
Godzilla,
Kiri
essentially.
with
Yeah.
Godzilla bones in him and stuff.
Yeah.
That
Right.
kind of makes him Godzilla to me.
That makes him better. Why did we do that? I don't know.
So to wrap
We
up
have stronger things than bones here. But let's just shove them in there.
It makes him better.
Yeah, they were like
Better
building like
for
a
it.
legit clay model. They were like, all right, so we need the skeleton, and then we're gonna build over the top.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's how I learned how to do it in school.
Roman told me to put the bones in here.
So to wrap up the Shin universe, I agree with a lot of the chat. I don't know if you guys have seen the chat, but everyone pretty much universally agrees it's going to be like a giant merchandise campaign for the most part. But hear me out. Give me Ultraman, Kamen Rider, and Eva 1 versus Shin Godzilla. Just give me that. Give me that as in any kind. I don't care if it's an anime, movie, TV show. Give me.
So now here's the question.
that.
Who would win?
Shin Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Shin Godzilla would
But
destroy
you gotta
all
tell
of them.
like the fact that everyone just expects an ad campaign out of this means we'll never be disappointed with what they actually do.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
pretty much. Yeah.
True.
You know, like
Set your
you just top
expectations
that.
low.
That's the bare minimum.
Because they've already
You know?
done like Shin Godzilla versus the Eva in like one of the in some kind of I don't know if it was a ride or something like that, and Godzilla destroyed both of them. Like in that, Shin Godzilla was like, "Get off me, you little
Get off
bastards!"
me.
It's like me fighting my
That
little
piece of paper.
cousin.
He's got his little
Yeah,
arms.
yeah.
He's like, "Get off me!" Let's see. Oh, we got another. Senor Gojira McCoy is coming in. We got Anno wrote. Let me just bring it up here. What am I doing? Do.
Copy, paste.
Do it.
send.
Anno wrote on new official page of this project that none of this heroes will meet in a one. Man, just kill my dreams. Just kill my dreams.
Don't kill my dreams.
AnnoVerse is really a loose term for what? Yeah. So we're just gonna get a shit ton of cool toys, guys. Which
I'm fine with that.
that's
fine.
cool. That's cool.
fine.
That's
Bring
totally
it.
cool.
Bring it.
I like how my thing still said highest bidder as if it's the Kaiju live auction show.
Episode 0. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that about
You gotta
wraps-
get it split, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to my favorite topic of the night. It's Boba Fett time. The book.
I was gonna say, what are we gonna be
Go.
yelling at next?
All right.
Let's do it.
So
Let's go.
we're gonna start off slow here.
You gotta go first.
No, I'm going last. I'm
You gotta
past.
go last.
Evandro, you're up first. All right.
I'm
So
first.
did this show strengthen or weaken Boba Fett as a character in your eyes?
It's a loaded question.
It
It's a
is, and that
It is
let's
loaded.
go. This is why we're here.
Strengthen or weaken? I don't want to. I say neither, and I'll tell you why.
You
I'm
cop
gonna
out.
tell you why.
We left him in
Like
a Sarlacc pit.
That's a
being
non-answer,
knocked in by
sir.
a blind man. So
Answer
it's only
the
up
question,
from there,
Senator.
Right?
You can't handle the truth. Wait,
Oh, man.
what movie are we in right now? Boba Fett. So let's start from the beginning. So Boba Fett in the original trilogy, okay, which only appears in Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, right?
Yes.
Has maybe what 5 lines?
5. Exactly 5 lines.
5 lines exactly, right? Okay,
Mhm.
and which were dubbed over later, obviously.
Yeah.
We're not
That didn't happen.
Yeah, the special edition.
No.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, never happened.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that was how it was always
Captain
intended to be.
Solo in the
That's
cargo
all.
hold.
That's
Yeah.
all Boba Fett fans had to go off of. Is those 5 lines and his minor movements. He shot his blaster like twice in the entirety of 5 hours.
And
It's
then
like-
he screamed like a little girl on his way into the Sarlacc pit.
Correct.
Arc finished.
That's all fans had to go on. And then, like, you could delve deeper into like comics and novels that he appears in and things like that. Everybody's doesn't know what to picture. All they have are these. So this is the first iteration ever of Boba Fett that you get that brings that character out. And it honestly, it humanizes him, because before that, he's just a guy in a mask that just says 5 things, and that's it. That's all you get.
All
I'm
right,
not.
thank you, Senator
30
Kevin.
something years.
Kevin, what do you got?
Be fair. If you're gonna talk about it as a
Closing
whole,
statement, please.
if you're gonna talk about it as a whole, if you're gonna call a show the Book of Boba Fett, then you need to have Boba Fett in it.
Well, we'll get to that. Yeah, we'll
Okay.
get to that.
My gripe with the whole show is that you basically just made it a kind of like little spin-off story of the Mandalorian over here. Then you had some Mandalorian episodes. When AJ is like, "Yo, did you like this episode?" You mean the episode of The Mandalorian? Yeah, I loved it. It was great.
Yeah.
The episode of The Mandalorian, awesome. That's my whole gripe with it.
Ooh, potato on a spork kind of calls you out here. The Clone Wars TV show didn't humanize him. Ooh, I think he might have. Ooh. Gotcha. Gotcha.
All right. Easy. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get back. Kevin, how do you feel? Strengthen or
right,
weaken Boba in your mind?
Strengthen or weaken? Okay. I agree. Boba, to me, he's not a character. He's this cool looking thing. So, as far as an arc goes, if this was given to someone who was not Boba Fett, I'd say, hey, that's an arc. You have a character arc now. But given the knowledge that I had of Boba Fett prior, which is just this dude, this ruthless a-hole that just kills you for money, I didn't see why he was motivated, even with the Sand People. Like, why? Okay, why are you doing what you're doing? Why do you care about all these people? I don't buy it yet. You know, even if you're with a little tribe of people that show you, oh, I can, I don't have to be the lone
Here's some
wolf.
water. Oh
yeah,
I love you. Now.
Oh, great! I'm gonna take the drugs off these streets. I'm gonna save the children. I'm gonna throw a fruit at a Wookiee.
See,
My name is Boba Fett, and I'm here. Yeah, no, I don't buy that. Like, Boba Fett smiling should never happen. Like I don't need to see that. And
like
this,
I agree. He should have kept his mask on.
You don't want to.
I don't buy that. Like, I really don't. If this was for anyone else in the Star Wars universe, even if you made up a character, I would have bought it. But it's really hard for me to buy that. Boba Fett.
Yeah, that was my issue. Was like they made him Mando.
Well,
he's not like Mando.
Like Mando's was
different.
based on Boba Fett. When that show came out, Mando, we were all like, "Is this Boba Fett? He's acting like Boba Fett,"
Yeah.
And it's like if you
now
these
you
out,
start getting into the deep lore of Mandalorians in general, and if
Yes.
you've watched Clone Wars and if you watch Rebels, like you start really like seeing what Mando brings to the table and how it enhances that lore. Boba Fett doesn't do that. He still sits in his own little bubble.
He's his own master, and I forgive me, I never watched Clone Wars. I caught a couple episodes. I thought it was cool, but I felt like I'm never going to keep up with this, so why bother? So I don't know what they've expanded upon with him in that universe. So,
they expand upon Mandalorians in general.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's mostly like all of them. Yeah,
You learn really what
Bo-Katan.
Mandalorians are. Like, I mean, you go back to it, your first introduction to a Mandalorian is Boba Fett. Like, that's all you get.
We just go, okay, Mandalorians don't say anything. They keep the helmet on and they kick ass. Yeah.
In Clone Wars, they kind of pull that out a little more, and you're like, oh, it's actually a planet. They're actually a people, and they don't all wear suits of armor. Only the badasses wear suits of armor. And then there's this whole sect of like crazy religious people that only wear armor.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love that. I love that stuff.
I love
the
it. We're
fanatic
just
stuff.
This is the way.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
You get into this whole thing, and then Rebels takes it even to a different level because now the Empire is in place. Mandalore is like this disaster, and you start experiencing different other characters, and now there's like this whole like you learn there's Mandalorian clans and this whole thing,
heretics, which
is where I thought Book of Boba Fett was gonna go. Like, you're gonna bring in this whole like Mandalorian like history, and it didn't. That was like you're just like
yeah.
So
All
Nick,
right,
what
he's
about
in
you?
like a swimming pool for half the show.
It's a hot tub, okay?
It's a hot tub. He's in a little spa.
I can see Nick is like he wants to.
Nick's chopping at the
Nick.
bit.
Yeah, he's go
Nick,
ahead, take it away,
what's up?
man.
Come on,
Strengthen or weaken the
Let's
lore
do it.
master.
Pass.
Pass.
No, okay. I'm coming from a hurt place because I was hurt a long time ago with.
You're with friends, Nick. It's okay.
Episode 2. Episode 2. When I was how old was I? Like 12 or something when that came out. Yeah.
2002.
Yeah, I was young. When that came out, and you see like little baby Boba screaming, "Get him, Dad! Get him!" And not only, but like he's also a clone of some other guy. He's not this original thing. It kind of took some of his agency away.
Did that bother you that he was a clone?
Oh, it still bugs me.
Kid, I was like, wait a minute.
I hate that, and I get in fights on Reddit about it, that shit. So anyway, I was hurt a long time ago. Okay, like Boba Fett for me, like we weren't talking. We broke
me on
up,
the doll,
and
Nick.
like we weren't like we weren't hanging out for a long time. And then like Mando came out, and honestly, when they started doing the promo stuff, I kind of rolled my eyes. I'm like, oh, okay, it's just building off of Boba Fett. But Mando, Din Djarin, his character, he's legitimately good. Like I will say on camera here that that's probably one of my favorite Star Wars characters now is Din. I love Din. I understand his motivations. I like his character.
Valid. Yeah,
fucking great. So I'm already coming from this place of like, okay, they ruined Boba Fett for me by showing me him with his little curly hair and his goofy lines, and he's a clone of some other dude. So like everything cool about him was actually this other guy, and whatever. Fuck it. So going into Book of Boba Fett, I was like, especially after watching Mando, very open mind and stuff. And I will say it's peaks and valleys for me. Okay, it's not peaks and like pits where it goes egregious. Like the sequel trilogy did some things that like kind of broke canon for me and made me like mad. Boba Fett never made me mad. Some scenes made me cringe a little bit. I was like, okay, whatever. Did it strengthen Boba Fett for me? It was better than what they did in the prequels. I will say it did the same. Okay, so it's like asking like, did the prequel trilogy strengthen or weaken Jedi for you? And it's like, it's kind of a mixed bag. It made him kind of cool in some scenes. In other scenes, it's like, what the fuck? It's just kind of just drumming up. So Boba Fett's kind of
conclusion. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. So
45-minute lightsaber fights? What are we doing?
Oh,
yeah, Yoda with a lightsaber like breaks everything about Yoda for me. I hate that. I hate shit like that because it's not Yoda, it's character. Anyway,
I don't hate it. I don't hate it because seeing like you only ever get anything of Yoda as this crotchety old man and never realizing why he's a Jedi Master.
Right.
And seeing him fight for a lightsaber for the first time, like I remember sitting in the movie theater and being like, "Holy shit! Like this is the power. Like this is it. This is it."
At the
like,
time,
to me,
seeing it in the theater, I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" But I think for me, like Yoda would have been the guy who sits there and listens to somebody like rant, and then he says like 3 or 4 lines, and it makes you go like, you know, like that's Yoda.
Scanners, and he just makes someone's head explode. He wouldn't even have a lightsaber.
I would have preferred that from Yoda, but like, okay, for me, if I were to like hindsight's 20/20, if I were to go back, I would have had it been like a Fennec Shand show or something where she's working with Boba Fett, and Boba Fett's a bad guy still. He's kind of a jerk. He's mean. He kills people ruthlessly, and Fennec's kind of like tied to him for, you know, he saved her in the desert or something. So you keep him as a bad guy, but you don't make him the central focus because you have to make him a good guy. I mean, nobody. Yeah. I can't think of a show. I mean, like Peacemaker, kind of, you know, but even him, he has this arc or whatever in his show. You can't really have like a straight up bad guy on a show. So
what is his motivation here? Why is he doing this?
So that brings me to my next question. That brings me to my next question for everybody.
These are loaded questions, AJ.
No,
they're great questions.
This is a yes or no question.
Okay.
Should Robert Rodriguez ever be allowed anywhere near Star Wars ever fucking again? Because let's face it,
his episode in season 2 of Mando was great. His episode in season 2 of Mando was great. So it's hard because his episodes in Book of Boba were the weakest. Because
he was probably reined in there, just like Zack Snyder was by Christopher Nolan on Man of Steel, where there was a guy over your shoulder like, "Hey, don't be an asshole." And then they just let him do whatever he wanted.
With them, come on.
All right, so Evandro, what do you think? Yes or no?
I want to say no, and not that his episodes weren't, again, not egregious. Like they weren't awful. Where I'm just like, oh my god.
Somehow Palpatine has returned. I hate that shit. That's egregious. That's like. I can't.
You and Robert Rodriguez be like, you want to expand on this a little bit? Or, second draft it maybe? No? Okay. I made Dust Till Dawn. I could, you know. He's got some validity there.
I definitely think every other director that they've had on Mandalorian and on Book of Boba Fett has done a better job in basically every aspect, you know. And I think it almost feels like every episode of Robert Rodriguez is like, do you know where you are? Like, do you know what universe you're in? Are you a fan at all? Like, Do you?
Yeah.
Because everything that Bryce Dallas Howard did.
Oh,
and
so good.
Yeah,
God, I love her.
she
Yeah.
killed it. Dave
Yeah.
Filoni.
Give her a trilogy. Don't give Ryan Johnson a trilogy.
Like,
Give it to her.
They are Star Wars fans. Like they live in this realm, in this franchise. Like they probably have fucking shelves of figures at home. Like that's what you feel from their episodes. Robert Rodriguez was like, "Here's the script. Here's this," and he's like, "All right, I'll do it." And he probably executed his script to the letter.
Oh yeah, no, probably
Yeah.
without any kind of fluff or like flair
I was
of his
gonna
own.
say, what script did he get? That's the main thing. It's like,
Well,
I'm
you know
sure
what's
he can
interesting?
direct
Yeah, I don't
something.
know. I don't know if he got a
Just
script
like-
that said, "Hey, this guy should spin in slow motion and shoot."
I mean,
Because that
Maybe,
one he
maybe
does that.
Did maybe he did?
maybe he did. No, but
That's
honestly,
the worst
like,
here.
that's what it is. He probably got this, and he was like, it seemed like his episodes. He's like, all right, I'm here to do a job. I'm gonna
Yep.
do it. I'm gonna do it to the letter. And he put like his 100% in, while Bryce Dallas Howard is, because I know she did, those episodes. She was like, I'm gonna do this. Like she was excited. Like you could tell the excitement.
Oh yeah. She
Yeah.
eats
Yeah.
it up and adds to it,
There's
makes it
genuine
better.
joy
Yeah.
in her episodes that you feel while watching them. You know,
You know what's
If
interesting?
if you can pass that threshold to where we get the feels, then you did your job.
Yeah,
know?
totally.
Yeah.
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 Tamora Morrison had problems. Well, he didn't say which director, but I think it was Robert
It
Rodriguez.
had to
where,
be.
yeah,
Had to
he was on set, kind of getting into these not spats. I shouldn't say that, but he had these conversations with the director. He's like, "Should I be saying this line, or can I give it to Fennec? I don't want to talk so much. I don't want to. That doesn't feel
That's
like the
another
character to
problem
me."
I got with this show is
Yeah, he had some
takes
disagreements.
way
so, like,
too much
it's
for
kinda
a
like
dude with
Luke
5 lines
Skywalker.
over 2 movies. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like Mark Hamill with the sequel trilogy, where he's like, he was pissed at Ryan Johnson, and then you could tell from some interviews where he's like, "This wasn't the character in my head, and I don't agree with this, but I'm going to do it anyway." And
Yeah, I'm gonna take that paycheck, baby. Yeah.
Sometimes is more, and especially with like Boba Fett. And if you look at like the greatest thing that Mandalorian itself as a whole, as a series, ever created, is you had a character that had more emotional expression behind a helmet than most
they pulled
actors.
that off. Yeah, they pulled
have.
that off really well, man. They
Hell
really
yeah.
did.
It's like you like that's his face, like that's what you see.
That's
you're
where
more,
it's at.
you're more jarred by when he takes his helmet off,
Yeah,
and you're just like, oh
Uh-huh.
wait, what?
yeah.
And
His voice acting is fantastic.
Oh,
and they
yeah.
got
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood's son to do the body double, so we get that like heritage of like cowboy shit.
Little
That's my
Western there.
that's where I live and die in Star Wars, is the Western elements. Like I
Oh,
love
yeah.
the
Cad
Japanese
Bane,
stuff they
baby,
throw in
which
there.
I'll be
Oh
talking
yeah,
about
Yeah,
I
soon.
so
love
you
all
can get
that.
it to Cad Bane. Yeah.
All right, so
Uh-huh.
Kevin, should he be allowed to direct? Yes or no? Ever again?
Give him a good script. I want to see what he can do.
So
I like.
that's
you know,
yes. All
I
right.
don't have a problem. That's a yes. That's
Mm.
it. you
Nick?
know?
I think with more direction, it's funny because he's the fucking director, but like with more like
We
with
need the
more
director for the
oversight of
director
people
on
being
set,
like,
please.
"Oh, let's kind of give it to this," because
Yeah.
it looks like he's out there kind of just having fun, like which works for some directors, but for him, it felt like Spy Kids 2.0. It felt like a more of kind of his thing, without anybody being like, "Hey, but let's like rein that back a little bit,"
I
kind
feel
of
like
thing.
they got Robert Rodriguez just to get Robert Rodriguez.
I
like-
wasn't pissed.
Yeah,
at
probably. Well, he's
anything
also
that he
friends with
directed.
like
I wasn't
Filoni.
actively pissed. You know,
Yeah, I never got
I-
mad in Book.
I
of
never
Boba
got
Fett.
mad. I was just like,
Yeah.
okay.
I never
Let-
got
I got
mad
mad
Going.
in the sequel
Yeah.
trilogies.
episode. You know,
Like-
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
answer my own question. No.
Shut-
Everyone's
Shut up.
talking about, oh, if someone holds his fucking hand, he can give us a good episode. If that's the case, there are way too many talented people part of the show. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
like-
no, that's what makes me
every other
excited.
director they've had, they
Yeah.
should give them their episodes.
My
Like,
my biggest issue with him as a director was everyone was in the same sets, using the same costumes, but somehow the way he's shooting everything, it looks fake. It looks like you're
Yeah,
at a
it-
you
it-
looks like
it
you're
looks
at a
a little weird.
convention. Like
There's one cut specifically where he, after Cad Bane scene or whatever, it cuts like, okay, so
We
actually
talked about it,
when
yeah.
when he shoots Cad Bane, it's literally, I counted them, it was like 16 cuts or something crazy like that. It was like a lot of cuts, and then afterwards he does this slow montage cut of Boba Fett in the same like position, but it felt like a telenovela or something. It
yeah,
felt like
he just
way out of place. Yeah,
like a
What, you don't like that?
Like, you really,
that was bad.
Yeah, and
that was like, whoa. that
and the
was just a
only
weird
reason
cut.
why his finale even held up, because I have a lot of issues with it, but it's
That
so
Rancor, baby.
exactly the Rancor is
Rancor.
too freaking
Just like a
awesome
blade
that it
anymore.
doesn't matter.
I automatically can't played.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got a
exactly.
King Kong
Wait,
Rancor scene.
Am I watching King Kong climb a skyscraper right
Yeah,
Yeah,
so like I
yeah,
can't
totally.
complain with that, but there were so many issues with that scene, that entire episode. Nick, we had discussed it where like they made Boba useless. Like he doesn't do anything.
Right.
He doesn't even have authority. Like the street punk kids are like, we should stay here, and he's like, you're right. It's like, dude, you're fucking Boba Fett. Slap
He
that.
doesn't order people around. He just goes and does it
Yeah,
himself.
like yo, just slap that
and-
kid in the fucking head and be like, you're following me because one, I pay you, and two, I'll just fucking kill you because I'm Boba Fett. Like, but anyway,
You
I'll get.
humanized him. Like make him this robot, this very like strict, narrow-minded individual that we all know and love. You know?
Okay, did you guys see Dread?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
like
Things like
character
that.
more like that. Yeah.
Are you talking about the Raid or Dread? I mean, they're the same.
Dread,
Wait,
the Judge
yeah.
Dredd movie
Yeah,
with
Where it
Is
was
it
like the
going
raid.
with this?
Yeah.
They're the same.
I'm
They're
blanking
the
on his
same.
name. What's his name?
I'll
Who played
watch both.
Bones?
You're
Yeah.
talking about
It's live. It's live.
The Boys.
I can't look at
The
it.
boys, the guy from the
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah,
Carl,
he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carl
Thank you,
Urban?
Yeah.
Carl Urban,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Or-
like
or-
a character like that, make him like hard, rigid with like little moments of like vulnerability, and have it through like Fennec Shan's eyes. You can still call it the Book of Boba Fett or whatever, and it could be her talking about her time working with whatever. Fuck it, but like, yeah, have him be the badass in the background, and then you see like little bits of humanity, and then maybe by the end he has like a full arc or something. But
We don't even start with Boba Fett as like a hard ass. He's just
No.
openly like, oh yeah, I'm with you guys now. You know,
I don't like that
let
he
me help
never
you out.
mentioned Han Solo.
He's
He
not
never
even
mentioned,
like this
like-
is a dude who
yeah.
should not
Nothing
accept
like-
any help
Like
whatsoever.
how much stake he has.
All right, everything
towards
you
that.
guys are
Yeah.
talking about it brings me right into the next question. So let's
Okay,
do it again.
Do it.
What is your number one most hated and your number one like favorite moment from the show?
I think we're
So,
all
like-
gonna have the same
Yeah.
hated moment.
Can we mention
Maybe.
Mando or no?
No, anything that was in the book of Boba Fett,
Okay.
Mhm.
the whole season. It's as a whole. So your favorite and your most hated. Evandro.
Take us there. What do you got?
My most favorite moment. I mean, it's sad to say, but it really is like the Mando episodes because like it's they're not Boba Fett episodes, they are Mando episodes, but you get so much more. I'm a sucker for story. Like, give me lore, give me story, give me depth. Like, you get more out of those two episodes than you do out of the entire series.
I love that one long shot that Bryce Dallas Howard directed, where it's like him in the elevator. He goes up, he delivers a head, he goes back.
It's one
All
with the head,
one
yeah.
take.
Yeah.
So sick. Like, I love
Especially
that.
like I've watched
And he's on
everything.
Halo. It's a total
Yeah,
Halo
it was
reference.
super
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
didn't care. Or it's like, yeah, and even before that, it's Ringworld, you know, because
Oh,
they,
so
yeah, yeah, so good.
good. And like especially like you know, I've watched all of Clone Wars, I've watched all of Rebels, and the Darksaber has so much
I want that dark saber.
between
so bad.
those two series especially, and then bringing it into Mando, I practically shit myself when that fucking Darksaber comes. When he cuts through the TIE fighter, when Moff Gideon cuts through the TIE fighter for the first time.
Talk
with that
about
General
Boba Fett season.
But-
Get out of here.
But and him fighting with it. There's a scene in Rebels where Sabine Wren is fighting with it, and she's like, "This
Mhm.
thing sucks. It's too heavy. I can't
Mhm.
can't do anything with it." And him doing that, I was like on the floor. I was
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
ah.
They're carrying it
Ah.
forward. It's like,
You're-
oh, someone listened to the
you're
lore.
really
Let's
doing
bring it. Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, where's Boba Fett in this? This is Boba Fett. That's like it. It's like like that's like one of my favorite moments. Like when he's like training with the Darksaber, and the big Mandalorian comes forward, and he's just like, "I challenge you," and I'm like, "Yes, get him!"
Mhm. Yeah,
Get him.
that was tight. That was dope.
Something. I didn't even care who won that fight. I was like, "This is great."
Yeah,
This
really
is
good
like
episode.
one of those like really iconic moments, especially in like if you're really into all that lore. It's like, oh my god, like this is fantastic.
AJ knows I love my lore. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Most hated Evandro? Did you even say it? You can't do it, can you? You just can't do it. I love it all.
I know what it is.
It's all right. It's okay. We can move on. I know Nick's got to leave kind of soon, right?
I'm just gonna stick it out as long
Okay.
as I can here. Yeah.
I probably like. I hate that the first few episodes drag out, where you're just like, Like, show me the flashbacks of him with the Tusken Raiders, and then get it over with, and then move on. Like, you're just basically cramming everything into 3 episodes, and I'm like, please stop. Like, we get it. Like, he had this whole thing with the Tusken Raiders, which was good. It's fine, but it's like him acting like this whole thing. There's no one moment I can really choose because I'm just like bored really throughout most of the first 3 episodes. Just like nothing's happening. Like, what is going on here? Like, he goes and he's like, "Oh, do you want your helmet cleaned?" No, I don't want my fucking helmet. No, I don't want my fucking helmet cleaned. I'm Boba Fett. Like,
Can
why
I
did you
polish
get your
that dome?
Yeah.
Kevin, what
I
about you,
find
man?
my daddy's armor.
Kevin, you're up.
Kev?
I'm up.
Hated and loved.
What do you want first?
Whatever
I like bad news first. What do you got?
You like bad news first? All right. This may be controversial. Thing I hated most was Luke Skywalker.
Who is this guy? Who is this guy?
oh,
Why is he on this thing?
Whoa,
What?
guy. Whoa.
No, this is good. This is good.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This is good. You like controversial? Okay.
Elaborate on that shit.
Yeah. Okay. Luke Skywalker is the worst teacher I have ever seen in my life, considering who he learned from, who was Mr. Patience. This is a dude who's telling a toddler he needs to jump 60 feet in the air over a river and
50
needs
years
to lift a
old,
rock
okay.
immediately and needs to choose if you want to have fun or have a lightsaber at like age, the equivalent
Age
of like
54.
an infant. Like,
Yeah.
what moron? Like, it's no wonder Kylo Ren killed everybody. You're the worst teacher. What the hell, dude? Like, and the voice. I know Mark Hamill didn't do it. Whoever the voice actor was, assisted or not, dude's kind of like a sociopath. He had no range in any of his emotions, none of his orders, anything. He's just like, you must choose now. Also, I ran over your dog this morning. How do you feel? Your world will never be Jedi. Like, I couldn't stand Luke. Like, the CG, I'm impressed.
The deep fake stuff was amazing.
That's really iffy.
Honestly.
Like,
Yeah, it was. And they hired the guy from the YouTube channel that fixed it, and that was so cool. I love that they admitted they're wrong. Or
by
not
the tech
wrong.
we have.
Yeah.
It's the tech we have that can do this. I'm absolutely impressed. Keep doing it. It's cool. But yeah, I had a lot of issues with Luke.
Why didn't they get Hamill to redo the voice like they did in the end of season 2?
It would have helped. Like,
I'm
even
not
if
sure.
they
It's
aged
interesting.
his voice, like there was just, I mean, am I crazy? There
Because
was
he sounded fine and
he
it
sounded
wasn't like
fine.
wasn't like it was like,
but-
oh man, he sounds like he's 80.
No, he sounds like Luke, but there's no range. It's just
Okay.
one note the whole way
Yeah.
through, and it really bugged me. I was like,
Okay.
this is weird.
I'll admit it sounded kind of like flat.
Yeah.
I'll get that. In my head canon, I get that freaking going. It's that he's in this place of like Zen. He is the last Jedi master now. He's taking over Yoda's thing. So that's just the way
He has
is.
no patience to me, though. That's what bugged me. It was like, this is the dude who's like, Jedi are about patience and not rushing it. And it's like, this is who you want teaching you? Like, even I got anxious. I was like, what if I can't? He's like, do it now. Lift the rock or go home. It was just like, okay.
Lift
no
the
wonder.
rock or go.
All right, so what did you love?
What did I love? This may sound really stupid, but the Rancor at the end was
fun.
I
It's not
mean,
fun.
as a kid, we all wanted a Rancor. We all want to be a Rancor. We all like just watching him trash everything in sight. And like, I was worried at first. I was like, are they going to kill him? Are those blasters going to affect him? And then he just brushes them off. And it's like,
Why did they start shooting the
Oh, yeah.
Rancor?
Here we go. So I was.
The Rancor just saved everybody, and then they just open up fire.
Yeah, I didn't understand that
Yeah.
either. Like, I don't know. Maybe
Because Robert Rodriguez has no idea what the fuck he's doing.
it's bothersome. It really is. It is bothersome. Like, I didn't want to hate his episodes, but I ended up just being like, why is this happening? Yeah.
Nick, you're up.
Well, the stuff I liked the most was probably the second episode, the Tribes of Tatooine, because like Evandro, I love the lore. Anything that expands on stuff we don't know too much about, and the Tuscans are something that's completely looked over. I expected more from them after how much they'd been building them up, just to kind of kill them off, and then we don't see the female Tuscan's body and stuff. I expected her to come back. We didn't get any of that, so whatever. But I did like the second episode, and it had like a lot of callbacks.
Yeah.
Most of the episode was centered around like a 1970s film called A Man Called Horse or whatever, where it was like
Which,
you've seen
funny
it.
enough, is directed by the Empire Strikes Back director.
Oh, interesting. That is really
Irving
interesting.
Irving Kershner.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. But like I
Directed
I live in
RoboCop
Greece.
2 as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
This Ed 209.
Not a fan of RoboCop 2, I see.
Yeah, it's okay.
I love Ed. But yeah, like
RoboCop.
anything where they kind of expand on stuff we already know, I'm into. You know, especially giving it like cultural significance and stuff. That's super cool to me because it feels more lived and breathed in. And like me personally, I live and die in the like Western kind of themes in Star Wars, and that was just I mean, there was like I think that was a scene with the train heist, right? Where there's a shot where it's like straight out of Lawrence of Arabia and stuff. Like, I love that. Like, that's cool. That's like a really solid homage to me, rather than it being just like a cash grab, member berry kind of thing. And I like it when they do that kind of. I like it when they do that like subtly.
As a Western fan, did you? I mean, I'm sure you enjoyed the whole Cad Bane.
Yeah, it was great.
Yes.
Oh my god!
And
The classic shot where you see like the guy's hand, and through his hand you can see the dude standing like on the other side.
Classic
I love all that shit.
Like,
and the fact
there,
yes,
totally,
yes. Oh my god.
And I'm about all of that, and it's like when it's done respectfully and done like kind of in the right moments, I'm there for it. And I think the second episode, especially with the Tusken stuff, I really liked, because the Tuskens never had much development. They're always like there's the bad, the other,
always looked over in
totally.
We're always scared of them, like,
to the point that we don't even know what the fuck they're called. Like George Lucas in Star Wars, so he based them off of I want to say he based them off of the Fremen from Dune, Frank Herbert's Dune, and Frank Herbert based them off the Bedouins, who were from the Middle Eastern Arabic speaking nomadic tribes, who'd like go around the Middle Eastern deserts. And it's funny, George Lucas is going to George Lucas, so he calls them sand people, which is a real world slur for the Bedouins, which is like kind of tone deaf, and even the name Tusken isn't what they call themselves. So like I kind of expected a little bit more, like, okay, wait, what do you guys call yourselves? Because we call them Tuskens, and Tuskens were like there's like a Fort Tusken on Tatooine. And I think it's Legends now. I don't know if it's canon, but like basically Fort Tusken was a fort that was attacked on Tatooine, and they just called them Tusken Raiders ever since that massacre or whatever. So like I kind of expected like a little bit more, but like the whole like lizard vision quest stuff, cool. Yeah, I liked how Tamora Morrison brings in his Maori culture into it with the fighting style and everything, even with his facial expressions. Like, that's awesome. That's cool. You're adding a little bit of flavor, and this feels like a really fleshed out thing
so good. Like that that whole where you finally get a glimpse into what these people are. Yeah, that totally. Are talked about in the prequels, in the the present trilogy, and the the sequel trilogy. Like you see these mysterious people that just wear these masks that you have know nothing about, other than they shoot pod racers and they shake their sticks at Luke Skywalker.
And kill Anakin's mommy.
Spend the whole season with them. People. Give us a whole season of that. I would just, 100%.
I was very into like the expanding of that, because anything that makes Star Wars feel more lived in for me, I'm super into. Even small stuff like that long shot that Bryce Dallas Howard directed, where you feel like you could walk in that elevator with him and walk out of the elevator and back in, and like it just feels very lived in. I love that
long shot. Felt so good.
Yeah. So my favorite stuff is probably the stuff they did with the Tusken Raiders, and then there's a caveat though, because they kind of just ended it. They kill them all and they throw them on a fire pit, and then it's over. I'm really excited about the Obi-Wan series, because we have one director with one vision with like one writer behind it, so we don't get these uneven episodes where like somebody's giving a lot of respect to this and then the next director just kills them off. So it's so at least with the Obi-Wan series, we're gonna get like whether or not it's good or bad. I hope it's the former, but we're gonna get a consistent kind of vision throughout the whole thing, and I'm stoked for that. This felt a little bit disjointed, and I guess like my worst moment is probably the mods, but like my worst moment overall is probably just the kind of uneven flow of it. Because again, it was like peaks and valleys. It wasn't like pits. It wasn't like really bad, cringy, I'm mad at it. but it was like really solid Star Wars, and then something that's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of cheesy, you know.
Yeah.
And then you move on, so you don't really get to kind of ride that wave. So hopefully the Obi-Wan series just like at least gives us an even keel to like the kind of story we're gonna get.
They've taken all the right steps for the Obi-Wan series.
I hope so, yeah, because Deborah Chow is a fantastic director. She directed some great episodes of Mandalorian, so I'm really excited to see her work. The writer of it, I looked him up. I forgot what he did, but it was like nothing great, so I'm like a little worried. But I mean, they have people like
you never know. You never know.
Yeah,
with
that's
writers,
true, yeah.
you never know. It's ever with
Right,
writers.
Clifford the Big Red Dog.
It's the writer of the Baby Shark song. Yeah.
This song is, people are really into.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for Obi-Wan only because, like I'm really excited to see Ewan McGregor, embody that character again. Like,
and he's like the perfect age for the way the timeline is now. In Book of Boba Fett, Tamora Morrison is technically 20 years older than he should be, because Boba Fett should be, I believe, 41 years old by the time we start off with him coming out of Scarlet and everything.
How long was he in the pit for, by the way?
10
like
minutes.
Maybe a day
10
or
minutes?
so. Yeah, it wasn't
Okay.
very long. The
That's
wreckage,
very
I
long,
believe,
yeah.
I have to rewatch it, that episode, but I believe the wreckage is still smoking. So
still
it's fresh.
smoldering. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
They
had him there for
actually-
long.
A fun fact about that scene where he's in the Sarlacc pit, there's a comic book frame where they go into how which is considered legends now, where he escapes the Sarlacc pit by basically like, he's supposed to like jetpack out, but he's got the flamethrower the whole time, like exiting while everything's bursting into flames.
That
which
would
I
have
been
been much
was-
cooler
I know. Instead,
You know what's really cool
than
about
the
the Pit of Cartoon?
the hand coming out of the sand that we haven't seen 100,000 times.
What's really cool about the Pit of Carcoon and Expanded Universe and stuff, or the Sarlacc pit, is that it was semi-sentient to the point that like when it would digest you, it would take a little bit of you with it. So like you could kind of like communicate with it, and it could kind of talk to you, and you could talk to everybody it had eaten. So it got like really like
It's kind of like this. Yeah.
yeah. It got very like body horror, kind of like creepy, and then of course now it's just like a monster, which is fine. Like I don't expect them to like.
Even as a kid, I was like, I don't want to mess with that. That's just a big scary monster.
all right.
Yeah.
So, how did we feel about giving the Sarlacc pit a beak in the special editions? Like, I was
and
like,
they gave
funny,
it the beak
like,
again.
I watched this and I'm like, wait a minute, the special editions had a beak. John Favreau was like, no, let's not do it. And then
not
of course,
do it, yeah.
it comes out like, why?
That's amazing.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
you're just
and
like,
then the beak
all
comes back.
right.
Yeah,
Like,
I wasn't crazy about the beak.
Yeah,
No, it's I don't know. Like,
it's fine.
the Sarlacc pit to me was always like this menacing, just void that sat in the sand, and you were just supposed to be afraid of it.
Do you remember when you fly over it in Shadows of the Empire?
Yes.
Yeah, you're like, oh, they put that there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh
Yeah,
my god, it's the most terrifying thing. And then like you get this, and you're like, you see it in the special editions, and honestly, with the beak, it's not as menacing. It's not.
It's not as mysterious.
Don't like that it can just notice you. It's like, no, this is an ancient thing that
'Cause
is
it's got
just
this
there, and you have to
black
obey
void.
its laws,
Yeah,
or you're gonna, like, it lives without having to interact with anything. It just like it can exist, and that's it. That's scary.
That's it. That's scary enough. Honestly, like I think directors have a hard time nowadays, like of just being like, listen, give your audience a little bit of mystery, and they'll do the imagining themselves.
Oh yeah,
And
for sure. I love that.
Have to give
We scare ourselves with this.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, let us
Movies
do
like
it.
The Witch.
Don't give the audience
Ridley Scott
everything.
Alien, maybe. Yeah.
Somehow Ridley Scott made his way into the conversation.
Somehow.
I don't need to know where these came from. So yeah, they're scary.
Do I really need to know where a xenomorph came from? Like why? Like just
I
they're
really
scary
don't.
enough as
It
it
was
is.
scarier not knowing that it came from goo.
So, my number one loved and most hated scenes.
Oh, boy.
My favorite scene is Cad Bane.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
second
It
time,
was
because I
great.
love
Yeah.
Cad Bane represented me in a way. I kind of loved how his dialogue was, in a sense, breaking the fourth wall. That whole scene at the end when they have their final duel, and he's just like, after all these years, there's something I just can't figure. what's your angle? And I'm like, yes, Cad. What the
That's
fuck
exactly
is
what I
his
said,
angle?
too. I was like,
What?
yeah,
Please. I just love that Cad literally called him out for all the dog shit. Like, you tried to go straight. But you're a killer. It was just
You
like,
know what? You have to
finally.
ask AJ, you get stabbed in the chest, okay?
Yeah.
I'll tell
Yeah.
you, the greatest thing
ask.
about that is that Cad Bane. Like,
Yeah, Cad Bane
he
execution,
comes up
it looked
so many
great.
times.
He
So
I don't
looked
know how they
great.
pulled that off either. Was that a CG nose? Was that prosthetic? How did they? Does
I think
anyone know?
I think it was all. I think his eyes were just CGI, honestly.
Okay, I'm thinking
They
like
practice-
Voldemort,
it's
where they
hard-
kind of digitally removed the nose, but I was like, because that mouth articulation's so believable.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah,
You
it was
know,
very good.
like,
yeah.
I don't know how they pulled that off, and the actor
probably
in there,
Mixes
super
of
skinny.
both.
Like, there's so much
Yeah.
character to that form.
Yeah.
I
You know?
almost fell on the floor the moment I saw his hat lift up. I'm like, no way, they're not gonna bring in his hat.
Yeah.
Dude, as soon as they showed the total
The silhouette.
the
out
Clint
there, you're
Eastwood,
like,
you're like, that's only one dude that wears a fucking hat in
Fucking
here.
Hat, I know.
But still, it
to
was
bring in an amazing character to bring in.
it was
Yeah.
very similar to like season 2, where like it's Luke, but deep down you're like, is it though? Like they're not
Yeah,
they're not
yeah.
they're not
You
really.
gotta just
It's not
show me.
really gonna be Luke, is it?
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
They
it's like it's an X-wing. He's got a green lightsaber. You're like, but is it?
actually gonna do something this stupid,
Yeah.
are they?
And then my
AJ, pick one of your worst parts.
my most hated. There's a lot.
Pick one, not 12.
Yeah. Oh geez, there's a lot. There's a lot in here.
Did you
Hold
like
on.
the bikes?
I just don't even talk about that. Listen, I'm not wasting any time on that. I honestly, this is probably gonna. I guess this is a hot take. My worst moment is Boba should have died. I don't like that he lived.
Oof.
Because for me, if this you gave or attempted to give this character a season, if this is the best that you can bring to this character, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
No,
Mandalorian,
I agree. Yeah.
Mandalorian has filled that void that we've all had. Is a way much more interesting character. Has way much more to do with the Darksaber, with Bo-Katan, all that. Like, so much more interesting. I wish Cad Bane would have killed him right then and there, and that was it. Like, and then you set up Cad Bane as basically like the villain for Mandalorian season 3, because I just at this point I just don't care what this character has to do.
No.
Even
Why does
at
Boba
the
Fett
end,
care if drugs are on the streets?
Yeah,
You think he'd be
like-
the one selling them?
Yeah.
Like what?
Kevin's right. Like, you really
what
don't
is he
understand
doing?
his motivations, and
Yeah.
that basically.
he didn't even.
So-
Cad Bane asked him directly, like, "What's your angle?" And he didn't even know.
No, the writers didn't even know.
Yeah,
what to
they're like,
say.
I
It's
don't
like,
fucking
wait,
know.
we'll tell you with season 2 if you keep watching.
Yeah, like, and then
You know-
and then after all that, right? And like he flies off after he beats him, and like you kind of forget that Fennec's like on her own mission to like find the
Mos
little
Eisley.
to find like the headquarters where all these dudes are meeting. So of course, like you get to that shot, and you see like all of them getting killed. And I'm like, oh, finally, Boba's like had it. He's flipped the switch. And then it's like, of course it's not him. It's Fennec killing everybody. I was like, can they make this guy do anything? Anything of relevance?
Boba Fett is not an administrative worker who just
Yeah.
tells people to do stuff.
Like, the best thing he did this entire season was ride the Rancor. That was it.
Yeah.
He rode the Rancor. He had a couple cool moments there with Mando when they came out to fight
Yep.
everybody.
That was,
And
yeah,
that was
yeah,
it.
There he is. Yeah.
Yeah,
the
there-
back-to-back like gunslinger
That's-
stuff. That's
yeah.
very
You
cool.
actually got to see like 2 Mandalorians like fight.
Yeah, and that was like
And
to go
was
back
pretty
to Nick's point of like everything being kind of uneven was like
Yeah.
I feel like the Boba that we saw in Mandalorian was not even the same. Like it wasn't the
Oh,
same
dude.
character.
No.
Like it
No.
just
Especially that
didn't.
last scene where you see him like shoot somebody in cold blood. Fennec Shand sits there and takes a swig of alcohol, and he's like sitting on the throne. And
Yeah, like you're like,
shit.
oh, let's go, baby! Like the
Yeah,
it's like some
Godfather has
Pirate
returned.
King stuff.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
just
he
like,
wants to-
nah, I want to rule with respect. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, he's like, I want to run
Bro.
for office and community outreach.
And it would have ended with like an ad campaign for
Yeah.
like, I'm Boba Fett, I approve this message.
Here's a melon. You know,
And then-
give you a melon.
22.
And then yes, can we talk about how at the very end this goes back to like why the hell are they shooting the Rancor? This is another, I guess, most hated scene. I can't just stick
You
to
didn't
one.
like
I
the
can't.
Rancor? Well, okay.
No,
We
well,
got-
you got
Right.
everyone shooting these goddamn droids, right? Trying to get the
Yeah.
shields down. When the
Oh, I
shields
got a problem with
finally
that,
go
too.
down,
Like, if my
no one
shot
shoots
didn't
him.
affect the shield in the first place, I'm not going to spend the next 25 minutes shooting at it.
Well,
I'm
I guess
like,
I guess lasers are unlimited ammo, so they don't care. It's like a video game. They're just like, just keep shooting it.
Clearly,
Technically, they got charger packs, but
Yeah.
Who's
So like
I
I just
go watch an '80s movie, see how many times they reload.
It would have been
Yeah.
so funny to see guys sitting there like not shooting and be like, guys, the shield's still up. Like, like
shooting.
Yeah, like
why are you shooting?
it was just crazy
Maybe
to
it'll
me
get
that
bored and die.
the Rancor shows up, saves all these people, takes the shields down, and that's when everyone's like, we're just gonna watch now. Yes. Oh, the Rancor defeated it? Shoot him. What the fuck is
I also
happening?
didn't like
Scene to
there was
scene.
no- And it's not like I have this bloodlust or anything, but like we had like groups, like large groups, crowds of people running down an open street, and this thing would like shoot at them, and like nobody would fall. Like it
Oh,
wasn't.
nobody
Yeah.
got shot
There
at
were no
all.
stakes,
It was like
you
aiming
know?
at the
Yeah, they had
No,
10
yeah.
extras.
Has
They were
no
like,
aiming technology. It just shoots in a general direction.
And then, like, to contrast that with like the Mudhorn episode of Mando, like you knew Mando was gonna survive, but it still felt like kind of perilous. Like you felt like this thing's gonna fuck
That's-
him up.
that's great. That's a great episode in and of
It's
itself.
fantastic,
Just
fantastic
the way the
episode.
scene takes place where it's just Mando and this monstrosity of a creature that we've never seen before. You're like,
That's great. Yeah, super
'Cause-
into it.
I don't know. To me, when you see Mandalorians like that, they're pretty taking away all like Clone Wars and Rebels and things like that. Just seeing, a Mando in real life, they seem very invulnerable. Like they seem like I am ultimate
Spartans.
war.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
Spartans. They really are like the Halo version of Spartans. Like they are like this thing that is just like, and it's the first time I feel like, oh shit, he might not make this. Like,
Yeah, he's getting his ass kicked.
he's gonna be real fucked up after this.
so this is a pretty good question from the chat. It's not really a question, but this will be
More of
our
an
last
insult.
Boba topic, and we'll move on to the next.
Can we
So,
say something nice?
Wasted moment with Grogu and Mandu reuniting.
Oh, hi, Grogu.
It was a wake moment. It was a
Yeah.
weak moment.
I
That's it.
kind of agree.
What are you
like
doing
I
What are you doing here? End credits.
Yeah.
I gotta agree with that one. Like
Yeah.
it was just kind of weird, and I didn't like how
It was awkward. It was awkward.
yeah, I expected him to do a little bit more, or I actually blew Nick's mind in a chat when I was like, yo, so we still think Grogu's a Sith, right? And I didn't realize I was like one of the only people that have that opinion. Because
Never
like
heard that opinion.
Baby
Explain. Yeah.
Baby Yoda shows all the signs of a Sith Lord. Like
You're the force choke of
he
Cara
can
Dune and
he
stuff,
can he
yeah.
can
He's
heal.
really indulgent.
He can force heal. Now he was
Yeah.
able to control the Rancor, which is also a Sith power to control animals.
That's
And then
But go ahead, continue. I'll go back. Go ahead.
and then like in the earlier episodes, remember when Mando and Gina were like arm wrestling and like Grogu almost
Yeah, he,
like
like,
killed
choked
her,
her
like
out.
literally
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
killed her. And Mando was like, "Yo," I'm like, "Yo, this little motherfucker's crazy. He's crazy." So I wouldn't be
Sith
shocked
convention.
if
Yeah.
like that's because to me that would be the ultimate arc. You've created this character that everyone loves, and then in the end,
Turn him into a Sith Lord.
he's ends up
Well, and
being
Mando's going Jedi now. He's
Yeah.
out of the he's out of the order, and they're pushing him towards like lose your attachments, dude. You're gonna have to soften up here. Like,
Well, and
I would be
Grogu stands
surprised
to
if you go and he's got a
lose a
dark
lot.
saber.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be
Grogu
Grogu
stands-
versus him.
Yeah, Grogu stands to lose a lot too, because like if Mando is killed in front of Grogu, that could be an easy dark side turn.
He's got all the attachments. He can't, he wants that little shiny ball. He wants to eat everything. He can't. I know he's an infant, but like this is a 50-year-old infant. It's like Akira. It's like you don't give like this kid all these powers because they're gonna take advantage of it.
Right.
Kira back. Oh shit.
I still
Yeah.
can't believe Luke also like just gave him that ultimatum. It was like it's like
He's
what did
the
you
worst.
Is
He's
it-
the worst teacher
Yeah.
you can give this guy.
That-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing thing, like it, which is funny to me because like Luke is the first like Jedi that's supposed to realize Jedi need attachments. Jedi are
Right,
not
yeah,
supposed
he's
to be
breaking from the
creatures
order.
that
Yeah.
cut themselves off from the world because then they can't be like he's the first one that's supposed to realize, oh, we can't be Jedi if we cut ourselves off from the world. Like
Yeah, he chose his friends over
Right.
like everybody
Yeah.
else, and yeah.
He maybe
Right.
took it too hard because, like, if you think about Yoda and Luke meeting for the first time, besides Yoda just trolling him for a half hour, but like He literally was like, dude,
I love this light.
Lighten up. Be patient. Don't be so hard on yourself, you know? And Luke's just right off the bat with Grogu. He's like, go do this now, you know? It's like, no, that's wrong. You're not going to turn Grogu into a Jedi with that.
I would love to see
doing this.
Yeah. I don't know. Go ahead,
maybe that fight gave up because he just sucks as a teacher.
So has anyone ever seen Rebels? Because Rebels goes into the whole like.
Is that where Osaka fights Darth Maul at the end?
Osaka.
Yeah.
Ahsoka. Ahsoka does not fight Darth Maul at the end. So Rebels goes into the whole like, because it takes place after Episode 3. It goes into this whole like there are 1 or 2 Jedi still left in the world after Darth Vader goes and kills everybody. And you say like mind controlling an animal. That's actually not a dark side power. It's actually a Jedi power. The main character, Ezra Miller. Yep.
Is that true, Nick?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's true.
All right.
So Ezra has,
and that was in Rebels, right?
Yes, that was in Rebels.
Okay.
So Ezra is able to actually communicate with animals better than most Jedi, and it actually is like a rare Jedi trait.
Oh, okay. So it's a rare trait. Okay.
Yeah, it's a rare Jedi thing like that he's able to do. The whole thing of like, and that's like like if anybody has never seen Rebels, go watch Rebels. Rebels is one of the best Star Wars lore stories ever written. It like you get everything. Ahsoka fights Darth Vader in it at some point. You have Darth Maul come back after everything that happens in Clone Wars. Like,
Nick, are you outside?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yo, we're going on the road, baby.
It's like, yo, I'm gonna start.
I'm ashamed of my talk show.
No way I'm leaving this right now.
Go get the mail. Yeah, what are you doing? Gonna go for a stroll?
Oop, laundry's up. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's move on to the next topic. This is a quick one.
Yeah.
Actually, Nick, I'm not going to embarrass myself again. Pronounce this guy's name. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. You are talking about
Takashi
Yamazaki.
There we go. So, for those that don't know, apparently a call for extras was announced on the Godzilla Plus app that's in Japan for a scene to be shot later this year that's been revealed to be like in the 1940s post-Japan era. So,
yeah.
I mean, why would they announce it on the Godzilla Plus app if it's not a Godzilla movie? That's kind of fucking weird.
Yeah.
And then like this director has already like had 2 turns with Godzilla from his cameo in Always 2. And then he's also the guy that directed the Godzilla the Ride cinematic for the whole ride. So he's no stranger to Godzilla. They haven't officially announced anything. So what do you guys think? Is this finally the new Toho Godzilla movie happening, or is it a new Kaiju movie? Evandro's left, so
okay.
Let's give it to Nick since he's running around. I want to
go do your laundry,
dude. I'm hopeful.
Don't mix the colors with the whites, okay?
I really hope it is a new Godzilla Toho project. This director specifically has said that he's always thought that Godzilla should be tied to the Showa era. So he's somebody who gets Godzilla, like he's into it. Which
I also really love his design in Always too.
Oh yeah, it was really cool design.
It's like a Heisei kind of update, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Same with the ride one.
So,
the ride's kind of that
and,
way.
I believe he won Best Director in 2015 and it was like 2008. So he's like a competent director too. He knows what he's doing. And he seems to understand, or maybe not understand, but he has his own take on like what the heritage of Godzilla is and what's important to him about it. So that's somebody I want to have creative control if that is going to be truly the next Godzilla project. So, yeah, I'm hopeful. I don't know for sure. It could be just brand new IP, but I'm hoping they're going to run with something from Toho.
Kevin, what do you got?
I mean, it's been rumored 40s era, right? 1940s, they were
Yes.
saying. I'm going to go on a dark note and say this could be a Hiroshima Nagasaki inspired Godzilla,
Ooh,
which
that is super dark.
that could touch some nerves, if they're going with it. If this is Godzilla at all, like they may be going for the throat with this one. I don't know.
So I'm unfamiliar with that. So what does that entail?
Well, I mean, World War II, that was the first atomic bomb
Oh,
dropping
gotcha.
on
Well,
Japan.
I was gonna say, wasn't that the initial like?
Well, the initial was the nuclear tests after occupation in the 50s in Japan, but they haven't really, aside from like Frankenstein Conquers the World, they haven't really mentioned like Hiroshima or Nagasaki directly
Gotcha.
making
Yeah,
a big
no real
monster,
stuff like
so
that.
I'm wondering
Yeah.
like if this takes place in the 40s and it's related to that, maybe they're just gonna go for it and be like
that do exactly
that
yeah.
directly created,
that would be
That would be really cool.
That's like
If-
GMK
if
levels
they're
on.
going straight for it here, I don't know.
I always like a more macabre,
Yeah,
theme.
I mean,
to-
Oh, me too. I like
That'd
Godzilla
be
the
a
bad
good
guy.
tone to establish something serious with,
Mm-hmm.
So, and I love period pieces. I'd love to see more
Oh,
period
yeah.
piece
Absolutely.
Godzilla stuff. Like,
Yeah.
if we can go back to the Showa era, let's do a modern piece set in Showa with the tech we have now. I think you'd have a ton of fun with that. But
Or
if
you could do
go,
some really cool stuff.
Yeah, just like those coffee commercials where you can see like, where
Yeah.
they're mixing
That's
the,
awesome, yeah.
rebuilding the suits and enhancing stuff. Because that, like, I love like CGI. This whole like battle between like you can only have one or the other. Like no,
No,
they're all
you-
tools.
absolutely
They're all
not. Yeah.
tools in the
make
tool
the
belt.
Ewoks blink, okay?
Better yet,
Exactly.
That
Better yet,
bothered me.
make
Yeah.
make them Wookiees like they were supposed to be.
Yeah. Like, no, it's absolutely. You
So
gotta blend the two, because
Yeah,
that's
I
You
think we're
should.
getting another. I think it's finally happening. I think
I hope
All right.
so.
there's too
Yeah,
many
it's about time, dude.
coincidences here. It's the Godzilla Plus app. It's this director specifically.
Mhm.
I don't.
Yeah, no. The
It-
signs
or
are
they're
in
just
the-
trying
in
to
the
throw
sand,
the most nonsensical curveball ever.
Yeah.
But all right.
Well,
so-
especially with like the
Like if
tone
we
of
if we
Shin.
completely cut out all 54 and just go straight to first atomic bomb, right there.
Yeah, just
So,
reset
like,
the whole
cut to the
timeline.
chase,
I'm down.
like
Yeah.
I'm
And Shin
all-
was directly tied to those reactors malfunctioning and everything too.
Yeah,
so
the-
if they are going
the
to be in
nuclear
that
waste
timeline,
spills.
yeah,
so it's
go
like,
for real
it
this
kind of
time. No censorship,
kind of tracks.
which is why it
Mhm.
was made this way. Like, let's actually do it.
All
So,
right. So final topic of the night. Peacemaker, baby.
Oh, so fun.
Peacemaker.
Logging off.
So Kevin, you haven't seen
I haven't
any?
seen a single. No,
You haven't
no,
seen it?
I
Okay.
haven't even
Hold
seen
on.
Suicide Squad. So yeah,
Hold on,
I'm
you
out.
you have you're looking at your laptop right now?
What's a laptop?
I don't know. You're looking at your phone. What do you got?
You want me to? What am I looking up? What do you want?
I just want you to watch the intro, and we're gonna come to you last. So
Oh my god.
Oh, that
The
intro is
to
so good.
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker, best intro of all time.
Ever.
Evandro,
And you
yes
know
or
what's
no?
interesting?
Ooh.
All right, you know what? No, Nick, you go. Nick was ready to jump in there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was ready to go. Yeah, best intro. I never skip it. I haven't
Never.
skipped it for
Never,
a single episode. What's really interesting, and I literally just realized it today, is that their faces are so stoic because it reflects the butterflies taking over their bodies. So that was really cool.
Cool.
And I didn't
Oh,
realize that.
got it now.
Another thing is that I guess John Cena wasn't there to be on set when they were doing the rehearsals for the dance number. So they had I don't know how to pronounce his name, Alan Tudyk or thank you, yeah, the guy who played K2SO, and he
Yep.
was
No way,
Ross
they had
in
him?
Firefly.
Dude, he's the
Yeah, they had
best.
him
He's the best.
Step in for the dance numbers and stuff because John Cena couldn't be there. But yeah, that intro's fucking great. I'm always cracking up.
Better. That makes it so much better than it's.
Yeah, is that fun?
Do you really
Yeah,
want to
so, like,
taste it? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
oh my god. Okay, so James Gunn just released the whole soundtrack on Spotify.
Oh, it's amazing.
I've
yes.
been jamming out to that like
Oh,
crazy.
ready.
We took it up to Mammoth, and for 5 hours there, 5 hours back, I was just listening to that soundtrack because
Yeah.
it's just so good.
I feel like
It's
if you were
awesome.
ever gonna have like a party with anybody, James Gunn would
oh
probably
James,
be
yeah,
yeah.
put
be
him
like,
on a
hey
table,
man,
like,
I
yeah.
just want you to like just go to the jukebox, pick all your shit and let's just have some beers and vibe out.
Dude, yeah.
He has never put a
Give
bad
that man an edible.
Yeah, he has never put a bad song. And all of his songs are perfect for the scenes that are happening. They're never just like, oh, what the hell is this?
Oh, they're fantastic. Yeah, they're very poignant. I love that
Evandro,
one song.
best.
All right, I watched it. Done. Okay.
Okay.
Come on. Now, everybody, I can talk.
So, best intro of all time, Kevin. You just witnessed it live.
Pretty good. Didn't think I'd ever see Robert Patrick dancing. It's my neighbor. He lives right up the street from me, so it's funny. Like, it's T1000 doing a dance number. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing it along his hips. He's doing the hip
Yeah.
tap. You know.
He knows what he's doing. Yeah.
So the first episode gets you right away because they immediately start talking about butterflies, and so John Cena immediately goes to Mothra. We're fighting a fucking Mothra. So I just love that James Gunn is very aware of the kaiju and everything like that. So like,
yeah,
those
he's
are
just steeped in culture.
Yeah,
he knows
he
what
just
he's
does
He knows
it.
what he's doing. He knows what he's doing, and he's a fan of everything that he's doing. It's a passion for him. Like you see it. You know, he's having fun. He enjoys.
You can tell he's not like asking like a round table thing of like, okay, so what's cool right now? Like he kind of knows what he's into, and he's gonna throw that in. And
he's just gonna be like, you know what? This would be funny. This would be cool.
Yeah.
This would be. You know what? Just have him do this. You know.
He wrote the whole thing. He wrote the entire series,
And he directed half of the episodes too.
Yeah,
he directed half the episodes, but he actually wrote the whole series before it was greenlit during COVID, just because he was bored. He wrote the entire thing himself, and he didn't think it was going to get made. He's just like, I kind of wanted to do this.
John Cena said in an interview when James called him, was like, hey, do you want to do an HBO series? And John was like, isn't my character dead? And he's like, no, don't worry about it. And then they added that at the end.
That's awesome.
So all right. Speaking of James Gunn, so is he the best director like of this generation in terms of doing like ensemble squad casts? Because I don't know, man. He just seems
Denny
to.
Villeneuve.
Robert Rodriguez is like a close second in my eyes.
Get out of here, Kevin. Oh man.
No, Robert. 1 second.
I think yes, and I mean I'll go into like so.
It doesn't have to be the best, but I'm saying like I can't remember a thing that he's done. I mean, mute.
I mean, we'd have to go further than what he's already done.
I'd say yeah.
I'd say what's being done in terms of ensemble casts. Yeah,
because like between Suicide Squad, Guardians, and now this, because he basically took these characters that were
I would
barely on screen in Suicide Squad and actually gave them like Hardcore, for instance. Like
I don't even remember her.
Like I remember her, but she didn't have anything. You know, they didn't give her anything, and then all of a sudden they gave her all this depth to the characters. It's just great. All right, so let's see. Oh, better companion, Grogu or Eagly? What's up?
Grogu, but I love Eagly.
Grogu's great. I don't really consider him a companion. He's really a character. Eagly is just he's up here.
Yeah,
Eagly's fantastic.
Eagly is. That intro kills me every time when he like looks down to see
mark?
Like he's like did I hit my mark? Did I hit it?
Yeah, that was great.
All right.
Good.
So
Did you guys know
That is a
Vigilante was
practical
in
effect,
Arrow?
by the way, right?
Vigilante was what?
In Arrow? I never watched Arrow, but I guess that character was in Arrow.
Well,
1,000 times.
Vigilante in Arrow is not anything like this Vigilante.
Yeah.
In
Totally
fact,
different,
Vigilante in Arrow was actually incredible.
Was he? Okay.
Well, not saying that I don't. This version of Vigilante is hilarious, but the one in Arrow was actually that was probably when Arrow kind of came back and got its footing back under it, because there were a couple seasons there that were just horrendous.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
So when they
I didn't realize.
I completely forgot about him as in Arrow. Yeah, no, it's a completely different character.
And he's great. That actor that plays him too almost reminds me of like a young Christian Bale.
In Arrow, he's really, really good.
So like we did with Mando. I'm sorry. Book of Boba Fett. What is your most hated and most loved scenes or moments from the show? Kevin, you'll just
Me first, please.
Yeah, the intro, great. All right, moving on.
That was great. That was my favorite part of the whole series, of course.
Have to watch.
Little dark. The lighting was not, maybe that's the worst I got. Yeah.
Evandro, what do you got? What's your?
So I will honestly say I can't really. Nothing comes to mind in terms of like worst moment because
I'm kind of struggling to think of one.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to think of a moment where I'm just like, wow, that was really bad. There's not. It's such a fun show. It's a show that doesn't take itself too seriously. Like, if you think about the whole plot line, like, oh, we're trying to stop this alien invasion of these bugs, and you're just like, what?
Huh? Yeah.
Huh? But the characters themselves are amazing. Like, there's so many great moments. I love the scene where he's like, activate sonic boom, and he just blows up the entire fucking parking lot.
Yeah, that was great.
Splatters her into pieces, and there's just like the show
and he's
itself,
butt ass naked in whitey tighties. Yeah, it's just hysterical.
And he loves to flaunt his fucking giant penis. Yeah, we know.
I love that scene. That's my favorite, actually, too.
Kevin was unable to binge Peacemaker for this, so he's just gonna have to sit through it.
I binged Boba and Mando.
That's fine.
This, so that was tough. I'll get to Peacemaker. So yeah.
Nick, what do you got?
I kind of like that they.
Oh wait, hold on, Evandro. Did you say your Sonic Boom was like one of your favorite moments, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. My bad, Nick.
I kind of like that they have like a really solid bad guy. Like they have like a straight up white supremacist piece of shit as a bad guy rather than somebody who's just wants money or something. So it's like fundamentally he's like, what do they call him? The White Dragon?
The White Dragon, yeah.
Yeah, there's no saving him. He's just bad, No. But it's an extra dynamic with him being his father, and he's, I guess, a combination of two characters. What I didn't realize. I guess Peacemaker was not originally a DC property either. It was from a company called Charlton Comics, which I hadn't known.
I didn't.
But yeah, and even his dad, like Augie Smith, right? He's a combination of Wolfgang Schmidt, who was like a former Nazi, and then William Heller, who was a White Dragon. So James Gunn, while filming Suicide Squad, the second one or whatever, had already kind of been formulating this character in his mind, maybe for another Suicide Squad thing, because White Dragon is a big enemy of Suicide Squad. But he had already kind of like been merging these two together, and he's like, well, that's pretty easy, like Nazi and then the leader of the, what do they call it, the Aryan Empire or something? Aryan Empire, like forming those two together to make like a really big piece of shit. Like I kind of like
he was
hating a bad guy, because it's been a while. Like,
you really do.
Yeah. A lot of bad guys are just kind of like swarmy and they're just motivated by greed or something. But this person is like somebody you just don't want to fucking be in the same room as, and I like that. Like
a lot of people are like Thanos now. Like everyone's where it's like you're kind of like, you might buy the cup that's like Thanos was right. Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit, at least like relatable. But this guy's just garbage.
Yeah. You don't. I never really hated Thanos. Like
well, that's what I'm saying.
He was just a misguided asshole.
Yeah, like a lot of the villains now to like get you emotionally invested, they make them kind of down the middle.
Quality.
Yeah. Whereas the White Dragon, you're just like, dude, this guy is.
Yeah.
Like when he the first thing he says to oh my God, what's her name? The female cop. Yeah, he's just like, oh, what's up, chopsticks? I'm like, holy shit. It's like, what? Oh my God.
You can say that on television now?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
James Gunn doesn't pull punches with that. Which
I appreciate the villain we need right now.
I don't need you to be like edgy or whatever, but just be like real. And I think having like a real bad guy is cool. Like,
that character is, you could tell like James Gunn is like, if we're gonna go in this, we're going balls deep. Like, we're just going.
Get in
someone we can collectively hate.
That made you be like, ooh, I really hate that guy. Please stop saying that. Like shit that comes out of his mouth, you're just like, wow, this guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's just garbage human. So like that was great. You know what's?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. No.
What's interesting? I'm just jumping track really quick. Is that Peacemaker was also the inspiration for the comedian in Watchmen, which I hadn't known, which is kind of fun.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of
he
like
was fun, wasn't he?
Yeah. But I like that connectivity, and like in Watchmen, obviously comedian, he's just like he's done. There's no like bringing the spark back. He's just fucking done. But you kind of get why. I like, and this is how, like, going from Book of Boba Fett to Peacemaker, this is how you do like a bad guy and you kind of make him a little bit more understandable. Again, like just deciding not to like kill for the sake of killing anymore wasn't necessarily jarring, but it was like, okay, that was like a quick snap, but you could tell that killing Rick Flag really fucked him up a little bit, and like he was kind of unsettled.
That's the whole thing. Going back to Kevin's thing of like motivation, like you understand throughout the entire series of Peacemaker, you understand his motivations for doing things.
Yeah. Like if we had one scene in Book of Boba Fett where he's like just reminiscing about how he got knocked into a pit by a blind guy and he's like, I can't fucking do this anymore. This is stupid. I would be like, okay,
and he was like, I'm done. I can't be that anymore. I'm just
a blind guy with a stick almost killed you. Like, maybe you're done. So like having something like that is like, okay, now where are we going? Like now I'm interested in like what do you want to become afterwards? I don't have any lows with Peacemaker. I'm trying to think like.
Yeah, I guess if I had anything bad to say about Peacemaker, it was
there's not enough episodes.
That's kind of it.
I think it's the perfect amount of episodes, honestly. Like,
it was a really good season. It had really enough room.
It was strong. There was no episode felt like it was trying to fill something. Like there were no filler episodes throughout the entire.
And the corny things are forgivable rather. So like a character like
because they're fun.
Who like like a corny episode like with in the season finale, Adebayo grabs her gun and then she just starts John Wicking people with like gunplay. Like it's like
that. I was like,
yeah.
I'm made for this shit.
But at the same time, you realize you're having fun, so you don't fucking care anymore.
Well, and then you also
legit like John Wicking people. She's like pop.
But you also have to understand, like,
head. Dude,
I like how they
like he.
Got.
No, I was just nerding.
I like how they like I like how they like kind of fed you those kind of things to make even that scene believable, because she mentioned she has like her tactical degree like at 14. Like you also have to realize that she is Amanda Waller's daughter, and I'm sure Amanda Waller put her through some shit. So like
and my headcanon can like fix
so you're
shit.
just kind of like I feel like for most of the show she's like repressing that because she doesn't want to be her mother, and then at the end she's like, well, everyone's about to be fucking dead, so fuck it, let's go. I'm made for this shit. And you're like, all right, I can believe it. But
and that's how you do an arc.
Well, that's the thing. Like
I don't want to be my mom. That's all you had to do.
Yeah, every character.
I don't know what the hell he wants.
Boba doesn't want to be his mom, man.
Yeah, Boba doesn't want to be his mom.
He doesn't want to be a Sarlacc pit no more. But that's
very vaginal.
It's really hard to find anything really bad to say, other than I kind of feel like they jumped into making Peacemaker too sympathetic too quickly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because like if you come straight from Suicide Squad to this, like they kind of just go full into it. So I would have liked it to have been a little bit slower, so he resembled more of like the real hard ass that he was in Suicide Squad. That kind of gets lost a little bit.
I kind of like that they make him a big kid. Like you can tell he's just a big fucking frat boy, and that's fun. Like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they just kind of went, because like you kind of get that in the first one because he's just crazy, but crazy in like a serial killer kind of way.
Oh yeah, I like he kills that whole village of people.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, that's your first introduction to Peacemaker. Is in that scene in the movie where he just goes around and he just murders. Him and Bloodsport literally just murder everyone.
Yeah, they're having a competition. Who can kill more people cooler?
Who can kill more people in more interesting ways? And it's great. And then you get to the series and you're just like, he hasn't really shot anyone. If you really think about it, he doesn't shoot anyone until like the very last episode. And you're just like, all right, I get it. I could get behind it. You forget about it because you're so enthralled by everything else that's happening around you. Like,
but at least he has a reasoning. Like he's like,
he does.
Like the flag thing messed him up, and he doesn't know if that's what he wants to do anymore.
There's a call back to that in just about every other episode where he constantly has that flashback and he says, "Peacemaker, what a joke!" Like
I love
that whole thing really like
resonates with
him
him.
in half.
Yeah,
Boba Fett, I got eaten by a Sarlacc pit. Hold on, to go spend time.
Yeah, I hate that they never referenced Han Solo. I hate that he never referenced like any of his past life. That it was
Mace
just
Windu,
like
yeah,
a
nothing.
clean slate. Yeah,
Yeah. He's just like,
dude, yeah.
how do you not mention like I want to
to find Mace Windu and find out
like
what happened.
maybe him
like,
becoming a crime boss was so he can get enough power to like go after a guy like Mace. You know what I mean? Like, anything. Just,
or
dude,
some
Mace,
kind of
Mace is already
reparation
gone.
kind of thing. Like he's got all these enemies all over the galaxy because he's killed so many fathers and mothers and children and everything. You'd expect like maybe people coming after him and he's got to hunker down or something.
no, let's stick to Peacemaker. All right.
All right.
Sorry.
Let's come back. We'll come back to it if we have some time after this. So this actually took me by surprise. We're gonna talk about the cameo at the end. Kevin, if you don't want to be spoiled here,
I'll cover my ears.
Yeah.
You don't care.
So, in my opinion, this was one of the best TV show cameos I've ever seen. I could not believe that they were able to pull this shit off. But I am
100%.
shocked by how many people hated it. Like,
really?
It's very mixed.
It?
Dude, so many people are talking about. So this is the question that I proposed. Did you love the cameo at the end with Aquaman and Flash in the Justice League?
Absolutely.
Or the other coin is people don't like it because the Justice League characters would never act that way. And I'm just like, yo, for me, I'm just like, Aquaman has been literally made fun of for fucking fish or all that stuff for decades. If there's anyone that's going to curse about that joke, it would be him. Like, I'm so fucking sick of this joke. That was so natural to me.
Yeah,
I was just like, come on.
It's just fucking people being nerds. Vocal minority kind of shit. Yeah.
Man.
It was great.
I loved it.
The dumbest thing. And then they created the Aquaman movie, and I was like, now that's how you make an Aquaman. Like, that's Aquaman right there.
Jason
Aquaman
kills
movie
it.
was fun.
Oh, yeah.
And that was Jason Momoa. And who plays Flash again?
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller. Okay.
And then a CGI Superman that looks like Henry Cavill's body type, and probably Gal Gadot's stunt double as well.
Right, it's fine.
There was Henry Cavill in that scene.
Well,
yeah.
That was fine. And I didn't expect it.
I know, yeah. I couldn't I loved that was one of my issues with like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I didn't watch a lot because it just felt they really tried to sell you that it was connected to like the Marvel universe movie wise, but it never really was. Because I always felt when you had those big incidents where it's like the world is at stake, it's like, dude, the Avengers would show up. So I loved how Peacemaker like addressed that, like, yo, here's like a world event. And she's like, yo, can you call the fucking Justice League? It was like about time someone was like, yeah, maybe not just have Peacemaker doing this bullshit. You should bring in the Justice League. I just love that. And he's just like, what does he say? Like, you late, you're fucking late, dickheads.
Way to show up, motherfuckers. Or something like that.
Oh, God, so good.
Yeah, it was good.
Kevin,
Peacemaker's solid.
Just watch it. It's on YouTube right now.
Okay.
Yeah, watch the YouTube thing at the end.
I'm impressed. I even got through 3 shows in one day. So I mean, I'll do it again. Don't worry.
That is very impressive.
Yeah.
Watch the movie first, though.
You literally watched that all in one day?
I finished Mando season 1 and then 2 and then did Boba one day because AJ's like,
wait, you haven't? I'm sorry, you haven't watched any of Mando until like a couple of days ago?
I watched 3 episodes of Mando season 1 and just fell off the face of the earth, and then
clearly. Damn.
Yeah.
Wait, can we get your opinion on Mando?
Yeah. If we got time, AJ.
I'm good. I mean, man. I know Nick might have had to leave, so
no, I keep going. Just that's all I'm saying. Keep going. Ahsoka, great.
You like Mando? Okay.
Mando's great. Mando's great. Keep it going.
As a Star Wars fan, how did you feel about the Ahsoka introduction into Mando?
Oh my god.
Oh, in season 2, that was one of the best episodes.
Yeah,
that's still one of my favorite episodes.
Dawson's great.
Yeah, Dave Filoni. I love how she like pulls her lightsabers out. So sick. That was perfect.
If you watch Clone Wars,
Jimbo,
you see how she gets those lightsabers and why she's special. Why those are actually like special lightsabers, and why. At the end of season 7 of Clone Wars, when you see Darth Vader pick up her lightsabers, it's like so significant.
It's
and
heavy.
Oh my god, dude! I watched season 7 of Clone Wars, and I'm like, I need air. Like I need a breath in it, man. I'm like,
because she's like in between. She's hates the dogma of the Jedi, but she's not evil like the Sith, so she's kind of doing her own thing. I love that. Yeah.
only character in the entire Star Wars universe that is able to really walk that line. And it's amazing to me to see it and how she reacts in Book of Boba when Luke is like, oh, I'm gonna teach this person, and she's just so calm and serene and all these things. In Rebels, you see a different side of her where she's just like she's still trying to help the cause and realizing like there's such an emotional scene. I'm gonna spoil a little bit of it if you haven't seen it.
It's fine. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
I've probably seen
There's a scene where you first see Darth Maul, and Ezra Bridger is this kid who is Force sensitive and who eventually becomes like this Jedi who is trained by another Jedi named Kanan Jarrus, who he meets Darth Maul, and he doesn't know who Darth Maul is, but you as an audience member know who Darth Maul is, and you're seeing this whole scene happen, and they're trying to find a Sith holocron. And if you don't know what a Sith holocron is, it is this
the essence of the
it's
the all spark.
It's basically a
it's a box of Sith.
Knowledge.
Yeah, it's a loot crate
of Sith. It's a repository of knowledge of Sith.
Yeah,
and Maul tricks Ezra into trying to reveal the holocron because you need two people because the Sith are a rule of two, one master, one apprentice. And Darth Vader shows up, and nobody can beat him. Maul can't beat him. Ezra can't beat him. Ahsoka shows up, and they have this fight. And this is the first time Ahsoka is seeing Vader, Anakin Skywalker again.
Does she know it's Anakin in that moment?
What ends up happening is they're fighting, and she knows it's him because she's so much more sensitive to the Force and understanding of the Force than most Jedi are. She ends up hitting him and breaking his mask, and she actually sees his face cut out in the mask, and she hears his voice over the synthesizer. So you hear this like duplicate voice thing happening, and like the scene kind of just like closes out on that because there's this whole pyramid collapsing thing, and the pyramid.
Did you cry?
Dude, I was sitting there. I was like,
I would have cried.
I was like, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
The whole episode ends. Obviously, Vader survives, and you're like, oh my God, is Ahsoka alive? And you just see Ahsoka like walk away into the darkness, and that's all you ever see of her.
Mm-hmm.
She never comes back in Rebels. You don't know anything that's happened with her, and it's just like, spoiler alert, everybody. Sorry.
Did she leave her sabers behind?
Yes.
Not in that scene. In that scene, no.
Because it's in Rebels, it's when Vader finds her sabers, right?
No, in Clone Wars, he finds her sabers, and it's just one.
Which takes place.
So
Clone Wars gets it back somehow.
She does get it back somehow, or she builds a new one in some way.
They'll explain it, I'm sure. Yeah,
I'm sure they go into it at some point.
Well, that's the one cool rumor that I kind of hope actually materializes. Is they're saying that Disney might let Favreau like uncanon the new trilogy,
dude.
And honestly,
bringing all the weird stuff back.
Just do it.
Yeah,
like. Well, I mean, it's easy. Just say they're not canon. I mean, they did it to so much. And they did it with all the comics that were done for decades. They were just like, and it's not canon anymore. You're like, oh, okay.
There's novels out there that are incredible. New Jedi Order is some of the most incredible Star Wars storytelling of all time. And I am so happy that they were able to bring in Thrawn. Thrawn is one of my favorite characters of all time.
He's going to be in her show, right?
He's in Rebels.
And he came into Heir of the Empire, right?
Yeah,
Heir of the Empire.
He's in the books. Yeah, I remember that.
It was Heir of the Empire where he comes in, where they explain how Emperor Palpatine actually is able to keep going.
Clone himself, yeah.
And it goes into, now we're talking into really deep Star Wars lore.
We could do 2 more hours of this, like right here. Yeah.
If you go into Darth Bane,
we're gonna make it 5 hours. So let's talk about how Boba just took a lot of shit from Dune. Let's go.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Stuff,
yeah. Mostly like, the Tuscan stuff.
Well, let's go with the Krayt Dragon. Let's start with the Krayt Dragon here.
Sandworm.
Krayt Dragon. What do we got, Nick?
Shai Hulud.
Yeah. Shai Hulud.
No, yeah.
You're out of my realm now.
Like, the sandworm would destroy that
coming
thing.
and going. Bless the Maker and his water. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's do a Dune cast.
As someone that like,
let's kick AJ out of his own podcast.
Well, no, I want to talk about it because like I'm someone that did not know anything about Dune. I never saw the original movie. I'd heard about it. So I had watched the new movie and I absolutely loved it. And like I saw the comparisons between Star Wars and Dune. Like the voice is the Force. Like there's a lot like the Tuskens are the Vermin.
Spice mining.
Now Boba really hit home with that. It was like the whole spice trains. I was like,
you basically had the guild in that one.
Like so.
That's the Pike Syndicate. Was kind of like
the guild, So like I love learning stuff of like that where it's like, well, actually Star Wars is loosely based off a lot of the stuff from Dune, and now they're now those connections are really out there with Boba Fett. Boba Fett drives that shit home. Like when he first opens the thing up and it's spice and it opens up, I was like, are they serious? Like, did they not know that movie just came out like 2 months ago?
We're used to it. I was just like, that's there.
Like you couldn't change the color of it or anything. Like make it green or gold. Like they're like, same shit.
It's funny.
It's probably the same prop.
I had Kevin over yesterday with my buddy Josh, and Josh works for Disney, and we played how long? It's like 8 hours of War of the Rings board game. And Josh has no experience with Dune, whereas me and Kevin do. And he saw the film, so we kind of asked him, like, "Hey, what you think about Dune?"
So you pulled out the fucking book. You were like, "We're gonna sit down and learn today."
Yeah, basically, yeah. And
don't worry, there's 5 more.
Yeah, right. and Josh is very steeped in pulp culture. He knows that everything good in sci-fi, and this is hyperbolic, but everything came from Dune, So like when he saw the film, he's like, it's beautifully shot, well acted and everything.
Well done.
They didn't really, do anything new. And it's because, and he said this going in, he's like, I know that it's because Star Wars and so many other properties borrow from Dune. And that's why when you finally do a big Dune film, it's like, it kind of feels like a little bit of everything else. And it's like, well, yeah, that's where it came from. But it's interesting because like for me, Kevin, and I'm not speaking for Kevin here, just myself, but like somebody who had read the books up to I just finished Chapter House. The things that make Dune different than Star Wars and everything weren't at the forefront of the Dune film, which was kind of a little bit, I guess, of a letdown. But my version of a Dune film would have been really boring. It would have been a lot of people just talking at you and explaining why people are cool and stuff.
That's an advantage or a disadvantage? Really?
It needed a TV series. I think it was a disadvantage of it being contained to 3 hours for just the first half or whatever. It needed to be Book of Boba Fett. It needed to have 45 minutes to establish just the Bene Gesserit, and 45 minutes just to establish the Mentats, and 45 minutes to really put all these pieces on the board so that when they start playing with each other, you're like, oh, holy shit, that piece with that piece is like, that's a big deal, Whereas in the movie, it's kind of like, there's that guy, and then there's that guy, and okay, things happen, Dune was great. I like Dune. Yeah. And Denis Villeneuve is the best working director today. I love him. I love his stuff. But yeah, like the things that made it extra or a little bit outside of other sci-fi properties that have borrowed so heavily from it kind of weren't there for me. But again,
almost every modern day sci-fi property has borrowed from Dune. Like, even I know that.
Like
even
the
fantasy
and stuff like that.
Epic. Any epic we know now has taken something from Dune.
Mm-hmm.
I still can't believe you guys like legit spoiled like the full trilogy for me though.
What did we spoil?
Like,
what
did we spoil? I don't want.
What do you think was spoiled? Because there's so much more.
I want to know.
Well, I've done research where I haven't read any of the books. I do want to delve into the books, which is because I love.
Nick and I have read them all, so I mean,
I love to read. So
I have a Dune tattoo. About this shit.
I love the movies. And even watching the HBO Max movie, like you see everything that sci-fi movies have really borrowed from that franchise.
Yeah, for sure.
You like, just from watching that.
Yeah.
You're just like,
much.
I'm like, I've seen this in
right. Which is like a disadvantage to it because it's like, damn, like imagine seeing that movie in the 70s or before all this other shit came out, and it would have been like so fresh.
Like if Jodorowsky's came out, like that would have been Star Wars.
So
Jodorowsky never read it.
Where do you guys see this? Do you guys, first of all, really see this as becoming a franchise in terms of filmmaking? Like, do you see it moving forward into a large franchise? Is there enough of an audience there?
They might do 3 films, but I don't see it going beyond that.
If they get to the 3rd book, Children of Dune and end it there, cool.
I
So
think
got
they'll
the
get
second
I don't
one.
think
How many
they'll get
books
that
are
far.
there?
No,
There's
there's
six.
6, but there's cuts. So like the first 3 books are within what would you say, Nick? Like 30 years.
And then we jump.
Book
like,
4 is like
yeah.
3,500 years after that,
and
then
it's
5 and
unadaptable.
6 are
It
like
truly is
another
unadaptable.
1,000 years after that. So
I
it's
think
on
they'll get
big scale.
Large jumps.
I think
Yeah.
maybe they'll get the first 2 books, and Denny has said that he wants to do that because it's a natural end to these characters that we're introduced to in the first one.
Second book
So
is
I-
a great ending.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
the
so
third-
if the 4th book just comes out with all new characters and stuff, then yeah, I can't.
Well, it's not even that. Like
It's
I
just-
mean,
it's
we
a
get
whole
into
different
spoilers
story.
if we talked about the 4th book. There
No,
is
please don't.
Yeah, no. There's it
So-
gets weird after 4. Like
It
once
gets
it
so
like-
weird, but
gets
good.
so weird.
Do you
So-
guys feel like, as Dune fans, do you guys feel like that this HBO Max movie has made the Dune franchise accessible to people
Yes,
that wouldn't
accessible.
Yes.
normally see,
Yes. This
you
is
know?
Diet Dune.
I
Yeah, it's Diet Dune.
I
Yep.
loved it,
Perfect.
man. I
It's great.
absolutely.
It is.
I watched it like 4
super
times.
good.
I
I've
highly
seen it, like,
recommend
4 times.
also having an edible and watching it at least once. It takes it to another level. The visuals are like, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is the barometer for that was our buddy James, who I constantly clash with in a good way, and he liked it a lot. So when he liked that, I was like, okay, it's reached the masses, and
Yeah,
people
and then I
like
was
it
like,
on its
yeah,
own
I
merit.
like it. And then you guys like, you liked it too? Well, here's all this shit. I got like
Here's all the
Dune.
stuff they missed.
I got a Dune overload, and I like was like, all right,
Mhm.
so all this is probably gonna be in the next movie. So thanks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, again, just because it's still gonna be awesome. Like it doesn't.
No, it'll be
It's a
great.
little bit
It'll be great.
spoiled, but at the same time,
Okay,
I
hold
just,
on. I'm curious. What was spoiled?
Yeah, I wanna know.
was it they're not the engineers? What the hell are they called?
Spacing Guild?
No, the
Worms? Shai Hulud? What? Where
No.
the spice comes from? What?
Fremen?
nope.
Bremen? Bene Gesserit?
Isn't it?
Galaxy.
It's not the engineers. What the hell are they called?
Galaxu? Okay, what do they do? Then we'll
What do
tell you.
you? Yeah. What are you getting into here?
What do these people do?
They're like the big overlord worm people that eat the spice or some shit. You like told me
Oh,
that,
Spacing Guild.
and
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was like,
But that's
what?
That's not. That's not.
That's a very minimal
story.
detail.
That's so.
Yeah.
but it's
Dude,
not
yeah.
in
No,
the
that's not
movie.
Hard to get spoiled.
All right,
I
again,
mean,
I'm
okay.
just
no,
saying.
actually, no. I think they do mention that they
They-
need the spice in order to navigate
That's
through
what
space.
Yeah,
they-
but
but
they don't
yeah.
tell
They say
you
that in the
like
movie.
they don't tell you like, hey, they're actually like giant worm people.
Oh no,
Oh, no, they're more like
that's not a
fish.
thing.
It's like a
yeah.
tadpole. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Whatever.
They're not giant worms. Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
either
Yeah,
way,
no,
I didn't know any of
spice
that.
fucks up your body. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. If you have too much of it, you kind of freak out.
And then
so.
what? Do you still continue to need more, or you'll perish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
kinda
become so
dependent
addicted
on
to it that
Kinda
you
like
can't
the,
stop.
drug.
It's a drug.
The
It's a
butterflies
drug,
in
yeah.
Peacemaker.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, that's not as big of a plot point as you might think because yeah,
Okay.
it's
Way too many
It's
other
gonna be
things
so
going
good.
on.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We were
I-
pretty careful, I think, in
Oh, yeah,
retrospect
yeah, yeah.
because there's
So
like
careful.
so
Mm.
much.
We were.
Yeah, we were.
We totally were.
Trust
yeah.
me. I can't wait. I
I
wanna do a
enjoyed
sidebar
the movie
almost.
a lot. I think in terms of a film in and of itself, it was shot really well. It was
Acted
Oh, beautiful.
amazing.
Yeah.
unbelievably.
Have you seen like Arrival?
I have seen Arrival.
Yeah.
It definitely gave off that kind of a vibe. I love the music. The music in,
beautiful, yeah,
in the
huh?
movie, it really sets the tone very well. Oscar Isaac did a fantastic job.
Mhm.
I think the movie in and of itself, Jason Momoa being his badass self was fantastic.
Is he? All right, spoil something for me. Does that character come back in some kind of way, or is he?
You just see Jason Momoa come
Yeah.
back. That's all.
Yeah. So in the first book, he's very aloof. In the first book, he's not this like surfer bro, cool neighbor,
Not
you
a
know,
bro.
kind of guy. Like
He's not Aquaman.
He's not.
No,
No,
he's not
Aquaman
Aquaman.
doesn't exist, dude. But
He's
yeah.
a dude who like gets drunk and kills people really good, and
He's
he's
a
kind of
frat
aloof.
boy. Like he's
Yeah.
kind of
I
an
mean,
aloof frat boy.
He
in a
Well,
way.
in
he
this
kind
new
of
one, he's
he
like
kind of
frat
plays
boyish.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in this new one, he's frat boyish and he's kind of fun, whatever. Hey, what's up, Paul? You know, like
Yeah.
kind of like that. In the book,
Some-
he's not like
all-
that.
No.
He-
He's just.
he's just
their
kind of
buds,
off
but
to the
Yeah. It was like
off to the
this-
side.
Because I gotta say, I was pretty disappointed that it looks like we're not gonna see like him and Batista face off. So
Oh, okay. Nick and I know
all right,
One-
never mind.
I mean,
Maybe we will. Dun, dun,
do you know what
dun.
a gola is, AJ? Yeah.
Uh,
Don't Google any of this.
Don't
Yeah.
Google what the Twilaxu are.
Okay, all right,
golas,
all right,
or-
well,
yeah.
So as a reader,
Sure.
should I just read the first 3 books for now?
I think
think
you're
read-
solid with those. If you like, okay.
If you
go
get to the
2.
third book, yeah. That'd
yeah,
be great.
if you like to keep going, stop it.
I
okay.
am an avid reader. I read a lot.
Definitely read the first one. Just
Yeah.
know going into the second one's more of an epilogue than
It's a
anything
bridge.
else.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you don't like the
it's
ending,
totally just like an afterthought of the first book and kind of
it's
kinda
a
tying
framework
stuff
to a
up.
bigger thing. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's not
No,
a
that's
sequel.
great.
It's more
That's
so
great.
Glad I
it's
can
more
ask you
so
guys.
just like hanging out in there. Yeah, it'd be as
Yeah.
if like
It's short
episode
too.
1 ended and then episode 2 was just like the Jedi Council sitting around talking to
Okay.
each other. You
All
know,
right.
Yeah.
it's very very muddled.
Listen,
The,
I've read
the
most
third
of the
book.
I've read most of the Witcher books, which all
Okay,
take place
yeah,
in
so
different
yeah.
timelines, so I can grasp all of that. I
The
get
the
it.
third book kicks off a big new,
That
not
one's
new,
fun.
but like
That one's
a
fun.
big story. It feels more like the first book, where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, now it's
But
like
the
a
universe
whole
is
new
even
thing,
bigger
yeah.
now, so you kind of get more tension.
Right.
But
I'm into
yeah.
it.
And if you finish the fourth book, like hats off to you. Like now you can run because the fourth book's super
That's-
fucking weird.
Now
I love it,
not-
but it's
maybe the
just
best,
going
yeah.
weird places. Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah.
So I
deep.
got I got one more nerd topic to discuss, and then I guess
right.
we'll wrap it up. Let's talk the Doctor Strange 2
Ooh.
trailer.
Okay.
Xavier.
Yeah,
Dwayne, Tom Cruise.
Who's your
Tom
Illuminati?
Cruise.
I and Tom Cruise. Is that what we're talking about right now?
Yeah, Tom Cruise,
into
bro.
it.
Scientology, bro. He fucking he Xenoed his way in there. Like,
I'm
yeah.
into it.
Yeah,
Dude,
I-
I almost shit a brick watching that fucking trailer and hearing Patrick Stewart's voice. I was like, wait a minute, I gotta go back to that.
yeah, dude. I
Yeah.
missed it the first time because when I
standing
first
with
saw
my
it,
friend, I'm like, we're watching it. I'm like, hold on, we didn't even finish watching the trailer. I'm like, go back. I'm like, that's Patrick Stewart. That's Professor X.
Gotta be.
What?
Yep.
It's like,
Yeah,
I
it's
recognize that
100%
shiny
it's
dome.
him. yeah, because I actually missed like hearing his voice the first time. So when I saw the back of the head, I thought it was the original Doctor
One
Strange.
of the Watchers. Oh,
No, like
okay, gotcha.
her from the first movie, and
Oh.
so I thought it was her, and then like I rewatched it, I was like, oh no, that's not her. No,
what happens
that's
when you take a night full watching trailers, bro?
yeah, man. But yeah, 100%. I think we're getting the Tom Cruise's Iron Man, which is just
That'd be
an
awesome.
amazing
I'm here for
callback.
it.
No,
Yeah.
I'm like 100% because he originally was supposed to be Tony Stark.
Yeah.
And what's funny about that is he basically didn't do it because he didn't want to wear a helmet. So you know he's gonna not have a helmet on. So
Let's
it's
make him the
just-
Mandalorian.
So yeah, Illuminati. I think we're definitely getting X, Tom Cruise.
Imagine all these Mandalorians and then like a short Mandalorian. It's like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Gina just picks him up and tosses him across the room. He's barely taller than Baby Yoda puppet.
Grogu's trying to eat him.
So who
I
else? Who else do we have on the Illuminati? I think Defender Strange is going to be on part of the Illuminati. Then there's the rumor of Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, huh. Would that be what's his
Say
name from
who-
The Office?
Who they think
That-
who's going to be Mr. Fantastic? Is it going to be what's his name?
That's
John
that's the
whatever.
biggest rumor. Is just the guy from The Office? Yeah, John.
John
Kran-
No,
Yeah.
Krasinski or however
Yeah.
you pronounce
Oh,
it. Yeah.
Des said and Namor. That's right. I forgot Namor is also going to
Namor's
be
in it.
part of
Cool.
the.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yes. So
Okay.
this
Alright.
movie, man, Spider-Man: No Way Home gave me more feels than I thought fucking possible. This movie
I
might
cried
make
3 times.
bro. I cry every time. Every time.
Multiverse won't give you feels. Spider-Man: No Way
it'll
Home.
just be fun, I think.
I don't
Multiverse
think-
is like mind-boggling. Like, am I tripping on something? Is
All
that
right,
what's
so-
happening?
Unless like
Yeah.
Professor X dies or something,
Pick-
and that's
pick-
the
He
last
died
of...
before.
Well,
Bro,
so this
like-
is what I think, though. This is what I think.
And 3, come on.
I think the Illuminati's actually going to be like the villains of this movie. They're not here to help.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I
Like-
mean they have him like shackled and everything.
Yeah,
and
like,
there's,
I think they're-
Ultrons.
Yeah, I think
Shumagorath,
I
too.
think they're going to be coming in like because like the MCU. You guys ever watch Dragon Ball where Black
Oh, yeah.
Goku comes back?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
come on.
he's basically just like, yeah, you guys keep time traveling, so I'm fucking done with y'all. I feel like that's what the Illuminati's gonna be like. They're
Back to
gonna
me
be
when you're
like,
done.
you guys are doing way too much shit. We're done
Yeah.
with this MCU. You're all dead.
Did you hear that the if you've ever watched What If,
Yes.
What If Strange Supreme, I guess he's called.
Yeah.
It's not the Strange in the trailer.
Really?
It's not.
No, so there has been so this is what I've read.
Are you sure about that?
No, so this is what I've read. People that have put on closed captioning on that trailer, that character is listed as Sinister Strange, which is an actual character from the comics.
Huh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
I don't
think-
know, man. He's got this. He shoots the squid out, which is exactly what the What If one does.
Couldn't they just be blending
I-
two
I
versions of
think
him?
it's the What
They
If
could
Strange.
be, yeah.
It could be
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, that could just be a subtitle. I mean, how could you not? Why would you even do the What If show
Because
and then not have it? Because they even
Yeah.
show what's her name, Captain Carter's shield is actually in the new poster. So like, I'm assuming we're probably gonna get a live action version of her too.
And we
Which
see
would be
Kang
dope.
in the poster too,
if
right?
she comes back as fucking Captain, I don't know what you want to call her, Captain
Carter.
Uh,
That's literally what
no.
she's called.
I mean,
Marvel, Miss Marvel, or whatever.
No, she's not Miss Marvel. That's the one character that I'm like blown away by. Is they have oh my god, what's her name?
America, what's her name?
Yeah,
Wait, that's not Brie
What's her name?
Larson. I'm getting all
No, Brie
confused.
Larson.
no.
Marvel. Miss Marvel is a different
It's
character.
different.
Miss
Oh, yeah,
Marvel
yeah.
is entirely different. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
like stretchy
America-
powers.
Yeah.
America Chavez.
Camilla Khan,
Chavez.
right?
Chavez.
Yeah,
It's
it's like
about-
so they
okay.
have America Chavez, who's in the trailer, and I had just learned was actually supposed to be in No Way Home until all the COVID stuff happened and they switched the movies around. She was, like Ned in No Way Home, all of a sudden
Mhm.
becomes like a wizard.
Yeah.
that
Oh,
was
yeah.
that was supposed to be her because that's
Oh,
her
that makes
power is
sense.
she can open portals.
Okay. that
So,
makes
like,
sense, yeah.
They just scrapped that. So then
Gave
it's
her
weird.
the ring,
She's
yeah.
gonna be a main character in this movie, and she's still like they're like, yeah, just
Just
Doctor
throw her in.
Strange. Yeah,
figure it out.
It's gonna be wild, like seeing the movie because you're gonna get a main character that you haven't been introduced to like at all.
I hope
Yeah.
they do that for a lot, though. I hope we get a ton of new characters. Just
Yeah.
to be like, I wonder what you're gonna. I want Man
I
Thing.
mean,
he's
they got
he's at
they
the
gotta
Nexus.
send Marvel. They got to send
me the
Marvel
Man
to
Thing.
say- Yeah, that'd be
Man.
cool.
Give me Man Thing.
I think would be dope, but you gotta make it dark. I think would be dope dark.
So I feel like that's the one thing Marvel's afraid to do is to go into like this more like
Hard R thing. Well,
Yeah,
now that they
like-
got
Yeah.
Deadpool, we'll see if
Deadpool is
they kind
the
of take
case.
the
You
step
know
of it.
Deadpool's showing up, man.
Yeah.
listen,
He's
man,
showing
Ryan
up, dude.
Reynolds has said he is not
Yeah.
in Doctor
And-
Strange, just like Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, I was gonna
said.
say Andrew Garfield
Nah,
said he's
No
not
Way
in
Home.
No Way Home. Me too. Yeah.
Spoilers, guys.
Yeah, that'd be
Just gonna-
the one cameo that I want to see that I'm gonna lose my mind is if they're doing all this stuff, bringing all these callbacks, man. You get Chris Evans to come back, and everyone thinks it's Cap, and then he goes flame on, and he turns into.
Oh my
I will lose my fucking mind. I will jump up in the theater and be like, "Let's go, let's go!" Oh my god! Like, cause immediately, like everyone in the movie theater is gonna think it's Cap, and it's just
Yep.
not. It'll be so
Oh my
amazing,
God.
so amazing.
Incredible.
All right,
Incredible.
AJ called it. We're gonna see if that happens.
Get you
Put a pin in that.
becoming Human Torch once again.
Yeah,
That'd be so funny.
it'd
That'd
be
be great.
so good.
Well, even Killmonger, same thing. He was Human Torch in that really crappy Fantastic
Oh shit,
Four.
that's right.
So yeah, you
Yo!
can have two flame-ons happen at the same. You get Killmonger and Captain America fake-outs,
God.
and they both
on
flame
the
on.
shelf with like Spider-Man 3, like all
Yeah.
these, we don't talk about Bruno over here, right?
Yeah,
Just
and
bring
then-
back Lou Ferrigno for Hulk or something.
Or Eric.
that'd be amazing. Yeah, you can. I mean, yeah, with Hulk you can do. There's so many of them.
Well, you got Red. Well, yeah, we got Red Hulk too.
Ray Hulk, yeah.
Yeah.
Is Lou Ferrigno still alive?
Yeah,
He is.
He
Okay,
is.
cool. Yeah, he's 70 years old. Yeah, let's bring him
Actually,
back.
funny enough, I feel like the Hulk in Endgame was more of the Gray Hulk.
Yes. Oh yeah, because he's just
Yeah.
he's not about that violent life anymore. He's all smart and
Professor
shit.
Hulk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But Gray Hulk was more of a villain-ish, because he was just more self-aware.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot to work with. There's a ton. I don't know. I feel like once you open up the multiverse, you start looking at like this wacky, like you basically could do anything you want.
Yeah, well, that's what's so great
you
is
can
like
fix the
they've
sequel trilogy. Like
yeah, that's what's so great that they've done is like even though the majority like all their movies are good enough where they've earned it at this point.
Yeah.
And now their stuff's, better than just good. Like originally a lot of the Marvel movies were just like they're fun, they were safe, nothing crazy. Then the Russo brothers came on and kind of took it to that next level.
Those Russos, man.
Exactly, yeah. Always doing big things. And then now they're just all the Disney Plus shows are pretty much excellent.
They are. Even the weaker ones are just like there's nothing to sky.
I really loved Hawkeye. Hawkeye was based off of my favorite comics period. Like the Matt Fraction era of Hawkeye was perfect. Like
loved it.
And what is Matt coming back for? He's coming back for some show that he's attached to that I'm excited about.
I hope he comes back.
Let's see.
I feel like Hawkeye was probably one of my favorite
Isn't he coming back for the Monsterverse Godzilla show?
Yeah.
Is that who you're talking? Yeah. I was like, wait, what?
For that?
Yeah.
That's awesome. He's a great writer. I love him.
Yeah. So I don't even. We can't really talk about that because there's not much to talk about with the Monsterverse show other than give us more fucking monsters. Yeah.
Give me more families to follow around, please.
Can we get more news?
As long that's my one hope is this is finally something Monsterverse related that fixes that the characters don't suck like that. You cannot give me
all of these movies back. That
is
the
pretty
only
much.
Thing. That is literally it. That is the dead weight.
Because like GVK has it for half the team. The Team Kong characters are great. The Team Godzilla characters are horrendous, and you're just like you can cut them out completely.
It's been done.
Yeah, James did it, cut them out completely, and you wouldn't even notice. They serve no point to the plot other than letting you know that the evil monarch
got a paycheck. That's all.
Yeah, evil monarch apparently has the worst security system of all time that can allow these kids, allow these two kids and this one adult to just go anywhere, go from Florida to Japan, no problem, easy.
Clothes.
No one notices it. You're just like, and then it's like, oh, the evil woman with the haircut. She doesn't like. It's like, oh my god, what is happening here? It's like, okay. Thank God for Team Kong though, because Team Kong killed it.
They were fine.
I would love bring all those characters back and build off of that. But anyway, anything more? Oh, Punisher's coming to Hulu. So you're talking about Marvel going dark. They announced that they're going to continue Punisher with the same actor, but it's going to be on Hulu.
Shit.
Yeah.
When did they announce this?
Like
I heard nothing.
A day or two ago.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're telling me season 3 of Punisher is coming to,
or maybe their fancy way of rebooting it, because there has been talks that like even the Daredevil and Kingpin that we see are going to be like loose reboots to fit more of this MCU as opposed to the Netflix everyone gets slaughtered version, which is okay. So, I get you got to tone it down a little bit for Disney.
Give me Charlie Cox as Daredevil any day.
And dude, the fact that Marvel lined that up so beautifully too with the Hawkeye episode, and then if you saw No Way Home the next day on opening day, Charlie Cox shows up as Daredevil. You were just like, this is these people know.
Hawkeye?
What?
So
Kingpin's in Hawkeye.
Kingpin,
yeah. So I'm saying you got
when the season finale of Hawkeye happened and when the movie release. No way.
Yeah, there's no way he's.
I think they happen within like each other. It's not the same week. I don't remember.
But Devin says Punisher being on Hulu doesn't sound good because it should be on Disney. Well, I mean Disney owns Hulu, so they're probably just trying to bump up their subscription base. Like, oh, people that don't have the full bundle got to buy Hulu now.
I didn't even know they owned them. Wow.
Oh yeah. Disney fucking owns everything.
Disney, man. Dude, Disney doesn't own much.
No, I thought not. Yeah.
Well, like if AJ and I are both subscribers to the Hulu bundle of
the
Huluverse,
yeah, Huluverse. It's like I just have the Disney Plus bundle because it's just I use Hulu for live TV
I'm on the Pirate Bay bundle myself.
Well, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna start going back to those days because, like, now with like this Paramount Plus shit, it's like, man,
Oh, it's everywhere.
I don't have enough. Like, I already get.
It's like having cable again. You know,
Yeah,
and you
HBO
gotta pay
Max
for
I
every
get.
channel.
HBO Max I get for free through my Verizon internet, and Netflix I get for free through T-Mobile, and Disney Plus and Hulu are bundled. I'm not paying for Paramount Plus, man. Like, I don't care how many Sonic movies you throw at me, because that's what they're trying to do. They're like, yo, Sonic 3's coming to Power. They get a TV show, and I'm like, you sons of bitches. I need my Sonic the fucking Hedgehog. So that might break me, but I'm gonna try to hold out. But it's just crazy.
My daughter thinks she's Sonic when she runs really
Yeah, I
fast.
know. Haley, Abby's gonna be going crazy for that stuff.
I gotta get Colleen to sign something for Abby if she's into Sonic because she plays Tails.
Oh,
And
dude.
we drink with her every weekend, so we could.
Oh my God,
easily
You go drinking with Tails every weekend?
You go drinking with
Dude.
Sweet.
Holy shit, dude. What are you doing?
I love that they went that like Sonic, Sega kind of in a sense stuck it back to Nintendo and like revived that whole rivalry with Nintendo was like, oh, we're gonna do a CGI Mario movie and bring in none of the voice actors and get destroyed. And then Sega was like, we got the Tails act.
I'm sorry, Chris Pratt as Mario?
Perfect fit. I mean,
oh yeah, just like
no.
totally.
There's no
culturally
facetious.
and,
I don't
AJ,
get it.
like, I love mostly everything, and no, I can't agree.
I'm fine with Jack Black as Bowser.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jack.
I'll watch anything
That's
Jack Black is in. Seriously,
Yeah.
like do it. He should have been everybody, but
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Chris Pratt is Mario.
Oh no!
I know you could like. It's not like the dude hasn't been playing Mario for like 30 years.
No,
You know what I mean? Like what kind of dialogue are you throwing at him? And emotional. Yeah, like you don't need emotional weight from fucking Mario.
No.
It's a me, Mario. Like that's it. So the fucking
get
guy.
Denzel for this role.
My man,
Fan
Mario.
Like Mario.
Yeah, I love
Diesel
that.
as Goomba number 3.
Can we get Vin Diesel in there? Or something?
I just love that Sega did it again and was like, we're gonna bring in the Tails, the person that's
do what
been
Nintendo
voicing
don't,
Tails
so,
forever.
yeah,
Dude, so apparently when she had that meeting with Sega and everything, there was one of the board members or somebody, I don't know what her position was, but behind her head, she had all this Tails merchandise. So Colleen was like, just like blown away in this meeting with somebody who's just like giddy over to even speaking to her. And this is like kind of technically in some odd way
That's
your boss
awesome,
or whatever.
dude.
But yeah, she was like
your
so
boss is a
excited to
super
meet her.
fan. Yeah, that's amazing.
Right, yeah. It's awesome. It was really
Easiest
cool.
job she
I
ever got.
I love and Jim Carrey kills it as Robotnik, man.
Oh,
He's great.
He's like
Incredible.
Where he's
I
like chewing it up. Yeah.
I love when like especially in this movie, like now he's like full Robotnik, or Eggman, which I also love that they call him that too. So good, Sonic. I love that at the end of the movie he kind of started like imitating the Robotnik voice actor, and like you can hear it, and you were like, oh man, he's like in. The next movie he's gonna be leaning into it more, and I just can't fucking wait. Because there's that one when he comes through the portal at the very and he has the laugh. I was like, dude, Jim Carrey's the fucking man.
That's awesome.
But AJ and I went to go see that in the theaters.
Oh
together.
yeah, just
super fun.
out.
I thought it was
both
great.
Hyped about it. We were both hyped about it. We walked out of there. We both were like, hell yeah.
That was bad. That was not bad at all.
No, that's
Do a
probably
video-
the best video game movie ever.
Yeah.
You don't like the Mario Brothers movie?
John Leguizamo.
As an Italian,
Bob Hoskins, who's British.
Peter Fonda.
like what I just don't understand is like,
or no, was it Henry Fonda? I was getting mixed up.
Yeah,
Who was it?
for that movie,
One
it's
of the
like
Fondas. Yeah.
you couldn't even just get two Italian dudes to be the Italian fucking plumbers that they're literally supposed to be.
No.
Like it just.
Was your family insulted by that, AJ?
I
or-
was very
no?
insulted.
They
I
were?
was like eating spaghetti and was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Hand me the mushroom.
And then they made Yoshi like an actual raptor. I was like, what is happening in this shit?
Yeah,
Like
He's an
made
actual
dinosaur.
dinosaur.
Yeah.
Like, what's
I think I
going
saw
on?
it like a
18?
couple times as a kid.
Yeah,
God,
nobody
it's surreal filmmaking at its finest. But I mean, I got to give it props to the set design and production design. It's beautiful. But
It
it's just
actually
like,
is.
what
Honestly,
is- it's like Blade Runner, but it's like,
Just-
why is Mario in the
Yeah,
Blade
exactly.
Runner?
It's like someone
Literal-
wanted to make a Blade Runner movie, and they were
Yeah.
like, "Well, we can only make you do
Well,
Mario."
we
And
only
he
have
was
the
like,
Mario license,
"All right."
so might as well. This is what the kids are really going for these days.
I mean, yeah.
Existential terror.
God.
So it is
"Oh my
terrible,
god."
but I love to watch it. Like,
Oh,
it's just,
I watch it at least once a year. 'Cause
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
time
like,
capsule. Yeah.
it's-
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a train wreck.
It's
but you can watch it, and at least it's like it's coherent in the way it's like stepped out. But it's just like as like a fan of any of that franchise, you're just like, what the fuck?
Especially,
yeah.
especially if you came from watching the freaking TV show. Like,
oh my
Yeah.
god. Or even what was it? The Power Hour. Who were the wrestlers that did what? They had the cartoons, but then
So,
they had like the
step right.
intermission.
Come on now,
Albano-
come
you
on
remember
now,
that, right?
come on,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
do the Mario. Yeah,
Captain Lou Albano is from my hometown, which is
Yeah.
Oh
hysterical.
my
Oh,
god.
that's funny.
That was like we were like everybody was like, oh my god, Captain Lou
Mario
Albano,
was-
wrestler, Mario.
dude, I
Yeah.
remember because I used to love that show as a kid, and I remember I had I got the box set a long
set
time
still.
ago on DVD, and I popped it in, and I'm watching it, and I'm like,
It's not great.
my
It's the
dad,
greatest
my
thing I've ever
my
seen.
dad walks into the room, and I literally look at him like, Dad, I'm sorry, I made you watch any of this. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
We all have those moments.
Yeah, I
though.
was like, I'm
growing up, you're just like,
Yeah, this is
Wow.
amazing, and then you,
You guys,
yes, that's it. Yes,
there it
that's
is.
There it is.
Yeah.
Super
Oh,
Mario Bros.
in all
Show.
its box set glory, dude. It's so bad. Do you know the like the
Sonic
Legend of,
cartoon,
you know
like,
the Legend of
Toho.
Zelda spin-off, like the show that they had in there? Excuse me, princess.
Oh God.
Zelda one?
Yes.
So
I remember
bad.
that.
Oh my god!
Or like
it's-
Keaton, the Game Master, that was one of
Oh,
those
yeah.
too. And all, like Mother
my
Brain from Metroid was voiced by Audrey too, and it was just
I-
weird.
I feel like we need to. I feel like we can have a whole entire show based on
Like-
like
Oh yeah.
what is
Yeah.
the worst childhood things that you
Adaptations.
loved that just got
Yeah.
ruined.
oh yeah.
That we gotta definitely.
I'll have to make a list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We gotta come up with like
Yeah,
10 of
we
them.
can keep going with this.
That'd be a really fun topic for next episode.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
100%.
But all right, it's 11:30, guys.
All
Thank
right.
you so much. This has
Thank
been
you.
a shit ton of fun.
It's been a pleasure.
I hope everyone watching liked this because this is kind
All
of the
six of you. Thank
yeah,
you.
hell yeah. Because this is gonna kind of be the plan going forward. Unfortunately, Dad is just not doing too well. And I don't know. The auction show is gonna be coming and going. You know, depend on how he's feeling. Because I really don't want to do it without him. It just wouldn't
Mhm.
feel
Yeah, we
right.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I could probably get Kelly or Crystal to like fill in every now and then, but just won't. You need Big
It
Frank.
wouldn't look
man.
right either.
Yeah.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
Nothing.
Just
No.
give Kelly like just gray
Right.
hair and a beard.
Make me love, please.
So you know, he's got a operation scheduled for in a couple weeks, so hopefully everything goes good and we'll be back. But until then, I wanted Sunday nights because a lot of people have been requesting, like, you know, because there were times we went dark for like 2 months, and it's like,
Mhm.
I don't like that. So this is gonna kind of fill that Sunday night void when there is no auction show. So hopefully, if you liked it, drop a comment below. Tell us how much you loved it, how much you hated it. Do you like Boba Fett?
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. Subscribe.
Boba Fett.
Ring the
Peacemaker.
bell.
That button and
Yeah.
subscribe.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
smash it until you can't smash no more. But I would say usually we do like, hey, what are you promoting? But none of you guys have YouTube channels.
No.
Although Nick is the Godzilla
Cool.
gang
Yeah.
memer. So
Yeah.
definitely follow this man on Instagram. Because actually, I just shared that Simpsons meme that you just did the other day.
Oh, that was
I
fun,
shared
yeah.
that, and good lord, people went nuts. That
Okay, awesome.
yeah, it was amazing. I've reached a ton of people with that one.
Hell yeah!
I just think they're neat. So good. Kevin, got anything?
No,
No?
I don't.
Evandro, I think this is Evandro's first time ever doing anything like this. Thank you so much, man.
I'm always around, man. I'm always here.
It's been
Me,
fun.
Evandro will be playing a shit ton of Witch Queen that's dropping in 2 days for Destiny. Nick,
Hell yeah.
get
Ooh,
fucking
yeah, I gotta
ready,
get back
bro.
on.
Nick, I
Alright,
just
alright.
realized you're from the Fandalorians group on Facebook. You're
He
always
is
posting those
he is
awesome,
the Mandalorian.
awesome
Yeah.
memes
Yeah.
that are on there, man.
That's him.
Hell
He's-
yeah.
I fucking
Yeah.
love it.
Nick,
All right, good
love
shit.
it.
Hell yeah.
Nick's twisted mind of memes. It's unrivaled. It's unrivaled. But all right, everybody, thank you so much. And as always, like and subscribe and be on the lookout for more content from Kaiju Live. Have a good night,
Go.
everybody.
Jay. Thank you,
Later.
guys.
Hold on, guys.